This is good
Let
for
me
your
just
heart, right? For me to be interrupting you and yelling at you.
exactly. Yeah, don't
Doesn't that
stress me,
help?
man.
Yeah.
Don't fucking stress me out. Right, here we go. Can I share feed? Do you have Feedly? Can I share Feedly
No, I
with
don't
you?
have Feedly. Just put them in the show notes.
Just a minute.
There's a
Uh,
section for news.
okay, hold up. Right, copy link address.
Yeah.
Okay, this will
You
take a
can just
little
put
minute.
story one, story two, or just put the URLs in.
No,
That's
I'm just going
fine.
to put the URLs in. Oh shit.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's just because it's put it down there for some reason. Control V. Oh shit, these are enormous, man.
It's
And they're
okay.
not
I
even
got
a
it. I got it.
link.
I got it. I got it.
These are enormous, man. There was something wrong with the font on that one.
Don't
Actually, I
worry
should have
about it.
done it
It's
here,
okay.
shouldn't I, where the bullet points are?
It's okay. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, okay. Look. I will survive. Go. Oh, that's easier. If I click on it, I can just copy link to clipboard. I'll put it in the bullet points at the bottom, this one. Control V. There you go. For some reason, it's not doing it as a link, though, even though I'm copying link.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I got it.
We got it. We got it.
Do.
There we go. Here it comes. Control V. There you go. You keep doing that. I'll keep just shoving them in.
That's fine.
All right. There's a bit of repetitiveness because some had like all of the story and some only had a bit of it. So I was just like,
That's
I'll
fine.
just copy it. Oh. Right. You ready for the next one? Here it comes.
Go ahead.
There you go. Yeah, they should have done this if I'd have realised. There's a lot of news today.
Yeah.
There you go. There's another one. I think that's it. I think that's mostly it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite a few. Well, it's mainly all about bloody Silent Hill because they did a big Silent Hill thing. And then they also did a big Capcom Resident Evil showcase as well.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I think that's been done since then. I might not have put that. So if you just
I'm gonna
search.
get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this TV shows thing. We're never doing that.
Awesome. All right. Just a minute. Let me just find Resident Showcase. Because they announced quite a bit of stuff there. There we go. Kotaku will be quite a good one. There we go. I will shove that in, and that should do us, I would think. Sorry about the delays.
That's okay.
There we go. Final one.
And he's gone.
Oh, I didn't know he had. There you go.
Yep, he went to get tea.
Hello.
Hello.
Chinny.
Right. Are you okay?
Are you okay, Chinny?
Chinny?
Oh, don't
Hey,
keep banging on about it.
Can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yep.
Are you okay?
I'm all right.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go, I think.
Excellent stuff.
Hang on a second. I need to get the video up because otherwise it feels like we're not even really doing it.
We're not doing it, Duke. It's all
Hang on a second. I need to get the video.
mystery.
Yeah. Okay, now it's up. Now we're cooking with gas.
Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking with gas.
And we got a chat. Okay. So
we got a chat.
Chit.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go. Here we go. And let's do it. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Eddie, you're gonna be late.
Welcome, yo, to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny, and the fellas will tell you about every single game. News, reviews, and an indie.
Do not give these guys things that make sounds.
Breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
Thank you very much, love.
Veteran gamers.
Thank you very much, love.
Veteran gamers.
Thank you very much, love. Thank you very much, love.
Veteran gamers.
Oh, come on, let's get down. Come on, everybody. Check me out. I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Your attention, please.
Hello. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello
Got
and
'em.
welcome. I know, yeah, to episode 668 of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yay, 668. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny.
We are not military veterans gaming. We're not military veterans, people. We are veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
And we stream live,
Indeed.
blah, 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 blah.
Blah,
Every
blah,
week
blah, blah.
we do this show live on YouTube.
Mm.
It's also on Twitch, I guess, but I don't know.
It is. No one watches on Twitch, though, do they? You only get about 2 people on
We
Twitch.
have some people. on Twitch.
Gunslinger is watching
Yeah.
on Twitch right now.
Yeah, I'd
Most
like to
people
say the
do
Gunslinger.
YouTube.
I was thinking
YouTube
about
is the
not streaming it on Twitch anymore, but I don't know.
There's
YouTube
an
is
odd,
the place.
there's an odd couple. There's an odd couple of people. Twitch is gone, man. Who cares about Twitch anymore?
Yeah, Greasy Fish Lips is also watching
Oh,
on
Marty.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Twitch.
Right.
But watching
Thanks
on
for
YouTube
joining us, everybody.
is Darren Sim, Sam Murphy, Nix21, James Bevan, and Ian so far in the chat. If you want to
Yeah.
chat along to the show.
Welcome, one and all.
Have you noticed
Well,
that my
can I-
voice is fucked?
Wow,
Yes,
what's
I
happened to
did.
it now?
What's going on with your voice? Have you
Yeah,
been
what's
yelling?
happening?
at
Ever since
children?
I had COVID back when our beloved Queen popped it, I've struggled to be well since, right?
Oh, no.
And on I think it was Wednesday, like I couldn't eat without massive amounts of pain. It feels like I've been
Yikes.
stabbed in the neck, right?
God.
Jeez, that
That
sucks,
doesn't
man.
sound good.
No, it has got better. I can sort of swallow and eat and stuff now, but I'm just sort of left with this sort of husky, like I'm gonna
What,
sort of die.
Sexy voice. Sexy.
I don't think it is. I think I
I
sound
mean,
like
it's sexy.
Prue from Bake Off. Do you know where she always
Sexy.
needs
That's
to
what I mean. Sexy.
clear her throat?
Are you feeling winded? Like, are you run down as well? as
Oh
you?
no,
Just the voice?
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Well, then I'll
I
feel bad
feel
for you then.
I feel fine,
All right,
apart
well,
from
that's good.
that I don't sound.
Put your
very
whinging
well.
then.
Yeah, what
No,
the
I'm
fuck
just-
are you going
the,
on
the
about?
thing is, Eric, I see that you're being a prick, but what I'm
Yes,
the
I am.
reason why I bring it up is because the only thing that is wrong with me is my voice, and the only thing that I actually need to do the show is my voice,
It's
which
true.
is why
That's
I would
It is
acknowledge
true.
it.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you could argue I need my brain and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
but
that is true.
Not for
I'm
this
not-
show, you don't.
not
Jeez,
for
what
this
are you
show.
talking about?
so I mostly
What
need
you
my
do
voice.
need to do, however, is put us on the stream because
Oh,
right
yeah.
now
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
an
good.
animated
See people
version of
can
us.
see us.
But the people really want to see the real us, especially
Because
this sexy new view of me. Where the
What if
microphone's not in the
I
way.
show you we have a new thing for the t-shirts, and what I'm gonna do
What?
I'm gonna forward this to you live and get your reactions
Oh,
live.
I thought you were gonna
Oh my
like
god.
show
Yeah, I
it to
was
the
gonna put
people.
it on
I
the
was like, no,
stream.
show
No.
it to people.
No.
Where are you forwarding it to us?
Can I
Are you
just
talking
say as
about-
well?
WhatsApp,
Can
on
I just
One
say-
thing at a time. Stu.
WhatsApp,
Let's finish this
WhatsApp.
shirt.
Look
Well,
at
I
your
need to get this
WhatsApps.
out.
Okay.
Look
I
at
need
your
to get
You
this
WhatsApps.
have
out.
to do it before we react to the t-shirts.
Oh, for God's sake, I've got to walk. All right.
Look at your
okay.
WhatsApp.
Maybe you could wait.
Listen,
I want
look
to hear
at
what you have to say, Stu.
I'm
but I
looking,
wanna
I'm
do
looking,
one
I'm
thing at a
looking.
time.
Look at your WhatsApp.
Oh, that looks wicked, dude. I love it.
Look
Man,
at
people are gonna want this on a shirt.
That looks good.
No, I quite like that. I quite
That's
like
good,
it. It's
that's
pretty
good.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, if you're
I'll
thinking,
tell you what, I'm gonna
"Ah,
show it on my camera so people can see it. You ready? There we go.
Flash, only a quick flash. Don't show
No.
them too much, dude.
he's showing it like
No,
some
that's,
lettuce."
That's actually, yeah, that's the Duchess's harvest from today from the garden.
Oh,
So
right.
it's not actually our
Hey, there you
shirts.
go.
If
That's gonna
anybody
look
wants this
great.
on a shirt, I could talk to the Duchess and maybe we could get you that on a shirt. But
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
all right, Stu, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I need to speak to James Bevan
Uh-oh.
in the chat.
Okay,
Because
James, listen up.
whilst I was in a hospital, I was watching live, and James said, "Have you finally sacked Stu?" Well, no, James. I was in hospital with heart failure, so thanks
Yeah,
for that.
don't be making cute little jokes about that, man. That's not funny.
Yeah, cheers, man, for making jokes about me nearly dying.
He didn't know why
Thank
you were
you.
gone. We were very
Well,
secretive about why you
Maybe
were
people
absent.
should think before they speak.
Okay, well, I agree with that. I'm going to make that a sound
Well,
clip.
what
Actually,
did
what's
I-
the time code here? 11:25. I'm making that a sound.
What
code.
was
Maybe
the
people should think
what was
before
the
they
last thing
speak.
I said to you in the WhatsApp group, Stu?
Do
you remember?
What, tonight? Just now?
Today, I think it was today or yesterday.
Oh, just a minute. I
I
don't
called
know.
you a hobo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I can't help being off sick from work with
'Cause
heart failure.
Stu's
What do you
like,
want?
Stu's on like chapter 5 of a game that we're going to talk about. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, Stu, you hobo, get a job.
It's almost as though he
know.
has more time than the rest of us.
Stupid
I know, yeah.
bastard.
I know
not
it's,
'cause
it's
he's
a
being
really
lazy.
feeble reason for not being at work.
Plenty of hobos have bad
Because
hearts.
Stu's got his heart condition, so he can go to
Yeah.
the job centre. Right.
If
so
you can't
yeah.
see it, Chinny's putting speech quotes. And then,
Yeah.
All right, I've got a story time that I want
My
Go on.
favorite
I've got
time.
one- I've got an
It's
actual story time.
Story time.
You know
Actually, I
why?
had
You know
two.
why I don't have one is because I respect the listeners and I want to talk about
Ah,
games.
fuck 'em.
I'm telling these stories because I respect the listeners. People want to know what's going on in our lives. One other thing that's going on in my life. Well, first of all, I got 3 stories. Number 1, the 2nd season of The Vow just dropped, and I am so stoked. I am angry. I'm literally angry that I can't be watching it right now on my phone. For those who don't know, The Vow is the documentary series on HBO Max about Nexium, the crazy cult hosted by Keith Raniere and a lot of other things. Oh, snap. This plastic is flying away. Hang on a second. I got to text the Duchess about her plastic flying away. The plastic looks unstable. I could go help
Are you
her with
really
it, but
stopping in
I'm-
the middle of your story?
FYI. All right, I had to send her a text. If our kid was running away, you'd be like, "Oh,
You haven't got a
I don't know
kid.
about our kid."
What kid's running away?
No, I'm saying if we. All right, anyway, so the Vow is the season 2 of the Vow is on. If you watch season 1, holy crap, go check out. They're only doing 1 episode a week, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna wait a week. But anyway, if you haven't seen first season of the Vow and you have
What is
access
it
to HBO
on? Is
Max,
it on
Service-
Netflix?
what
Is it on
service
is it on?
Amazon?
HBO
You
Max.
see, we don't have that shit in the UK.
It's fine. I'm just letting you know. Maybe it's available some other way in the UK. I don't know.
Actually, it
I'm
might. To be
finding
fair,
out.
it might
I'm
be on
finding
Sky
out.
Atlantic because that tends to have all the HBO stuff on it.
Could be.
I'm
Anyway,
finding
Could
out.
be.
that's the first little story time. I'm done with that. Second story time. I was watching while I was waiting for I didn't know the Vow was about to drop, but I was looking for something to watch, and I went to Netflix, and they have a series called like A Web of Make Believe or something like that. It's all about like stuff online
Sorry,
that's not
Duke.
true.
The Vow is available on Prime, Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. We
Well,
can
if you
watch
don't mind
it.
giving your money to Jeff Bezos, do it.
Oh, we've
Anyway.
got it. It's fine.
Okay, so I watched the first episode. I watched half of the first episode of a series called Web of Make Believe or something like that, and it's about the title is called Death by SWAT. And of course, I'm curious, so I watched it. And oh my god, it's about people who like get mad at each other in online video games, and then they like SWAT. You all know what swatting is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I got that wrong. That's the movie The Vow. That's available. So I don't know
Okay,
where the
well,
TV show
thanks
is.
for
Different
trying to
thing.
help, but not actually helping.
No. Didn't happen.
So anyway, so this and it just made me think about there's a direct line between get good and I'm sending a SWAT team to your house. Now that doesn't mean they're the same thing, but in both cases, people are being driven by ego, people are driven by narrow tunnel vision about how important this video game is. And the answer is it's really not all that important, okay? Especially if it's something like Call of Duty or Rocket League, like they're fun, they should be fun, but people take them so seriously and let their egos run rampant. And so just people, remember, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Like, keep things in perspective. All right, that's the second story. So the real thing, what I'm talking about here right now,
Oh God, what
is
we
this
having now?
box.
Oh God.
I got a box.
He's
Oh, God,
holding
what's in the
an
box?
Amazon box. I didn't know
This
that you like to give your
box.
money to
Yeah,
Jeff
you don't give
Bezos.
money to Jeff
This is not
Bezos.
this is an Amazon box, but it was not sent to me by Amazon.
Oh,
It was
It
sent to me by a
looks
guy
like
named
it
Mr.
was.
Hero. Yeah, I know. Would
Oh,
you like to
Mr.
know
Oh,
how the
Hero.
box
Mr.
looks?
Hero.
Or would you like to know about what's in it?
Oh, now I
yeah.
do.
Okay. So a user named Mr. Hero contacted me on Discord and was like, "Hey, what's your address?" And of course, that's a weird thing to get on Discord
Yeah.
because it's like, I don't know.
You used
But-
to have his theme tune and everything, didn't you?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Mr.
Is it a
Hero's
bomb?
cool.
Is
And
it
I
bomb?
said, okay, I believe it's not a bomb. I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's not a bomb.
so
Is
I
it
hope it's
basically,
not a
sticky?
bomb because then this would become a very gruesome
So you've
video.
not
We-
opened this yet. You've no
I
idea
have
what's
not opened it. I
inside.
promised him I would open
Wow, that's
it
brilliant.
on the
We-
show live.
we'll just open things people send us live on the show.
Right.
The Duchess Row, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Right, open
Um,
it, open it, open it.
I'm
Come on,
opening
open it.
I've
I'm
got the X-Acto
I'm
knife.
excited
you don't call
now.
it an X-Acto knife, do you?
What
do
is
you
in
call
this
these knives?
box?
Stanley knife.
Stanley
Yeah,
knife.
don't cut your finger off,
Stanley
that would be bad.
terrible knife. Okay.
Can we not have
well,
four
I've opened a little
conversations
bit
with
of
3
it.
people, please? Let's focus.
All right, it's open. Here comes the
Here
letter.
we go.
You ready?
Here we go.
It says, "Congratulations, insert name here,
Brilliant.
Ooh.
on being the first customer of Awesome Inc. Dear insert name here, I'm a huge fan of your work. I loved your podcast, insert name here. I think you work well with insert name here and insert name here.
I like it.
I recent list to your audiobook, insert name here, on SoundCloud, and hope there is a part 2 of insert name here." Now that's very sweet because it's clearly a reference to Delivery to Nimbus X, available now on SoundCloud or through paper copies.
There you go.
Hey Duke, lol, above was a joke. I thought it was funny. Yes, it was. Sorry this package is late. It wasn't late. It arrived exactly when I expected it to. I was having trouble remaking the shirt. Blah, blah, blah. I gave up and did another shirt. I put in a bunch of stickers. Stickers are much easier to make. But seriously, we need a part 2 of Nimbus X. It really is a good book. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. The big question is who is next? You can decide who gets the next box. Will it be Stu or Chinny? You can even make a game out of it. Loser gets the last box. Thank you for the years of entertainment, Steven. Well, that's so nice of you, Steven. We'll get to that in a second about who's getting the next box. But first, I want to show everybody what's in
By the
this
way, he
box.
has asked for my address, so I have given it to him.
Well, I hope he realizes how
So hopefully I
expensive it is
don't
to
get a
send
bomb.
stuff overseas, because that can be crazy expensive.
I did say.
All right,
I did say to him, and he was like,
here we
"Fine."
go. Number 1. New Veteran Gamer
Yeah.
shirt. Yes.
Woo!
Oh, thank
That's
you,
pretty
buddy.
cool.
That's so cool. Man, I don't need any of the shirts you're coming up with, Chinny. I got shirts right here. You got even
No,
several
Duke.
shirts.
Duke,
Boom.
Duke.
Shirt number 2. Duke the Crank.
That is
Oh,
good.
Oh, that's
Dad,
good. That's good.
Awesome.
I like that.
Yes,
That
Stu,
is
you were
good.
saying something to me. Go ahead.
That is a good shirt. You need to sort out sizing for me, because I'm like, I don't know what size to ask for, because like American
Extra
size is
large.
like large over there is extra, extra, extra large. I mean, it's fucking enormous, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can wear it as a sleep shirt. Hey, look, it's Stu.
It's me.
With the
Oh,
little
no, it's got the
things on his
cheeks.
cheeks that he doesn't
It's got
want.
the goddamn cheeks on it. Jesus Christ, ask him to get rid of those.
Boom! It's all 3 of us. Look at that. These are going on my laptop at school, man.
Nice.
Let me tell you what.
I like it.
Here's an idle animation for when we're gone. It's not really animated, but if I have this one and this one, I can just keep
Yeah,
flipping
you can
them
do
back
that,
and
man.
forth.
That works.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Oh my God, look at all
Brilliant.
this stuff. It's Chinny. Look at
Chinny.
Chinny. So cute. Here's a picture of the 3 of us in sticker
Oh
form.
my God.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Dude, look at all this stuff. There's this. There's all these little stickers. Hokey smoke. I got a smorgasbord of stuff.
What else is in there?
Logos and Chinny and more pictures of us. This one's squished.
It's squished.
And of course, it's me. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
looking
Twitter
as happy
avatar,
as
by the way,
always.
everybody. It's such an unflattering image. Oh, snap. There's a little Skyrim something.
Oh my God, that's tiny.
Yeah, that's what's up. Oh my God, they're falling out of my hands. I can't keep track of them all. There's a Dovahkiin Dragonborn little sticker here. Wow, this is so cool. Look at all this stuff. There's a little tiny sticker of us. Okay, I'm not going to go through every single sticker because there's a lot of amazing
Yeah, there's a
stuff,
lot of
but
stickers in there, I'm
look,
guessing.
It's the YouTube thumbnail. That is going on my laptop, man.
Wow.
Let me tell you what, that's so cool. An arrow in the knee for Skyrim.
And that is me.
Magnificent. Yeah, these are great. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate all this stuff, Steve. I'm gonna put it all to the side so I can take out the rest of what's in the box.
Wow, it's just, what
There's
else
another
is in
shirt
there?
here.
Oh
There's
my
another
God.
shirt. I
3
know, right? This
shirts.
dude went nuts. Bam!
Oh wow, that looks
Duke.
good.
The Crank. I love that face.
I love it. Yeah.
So good. And
Oh, that looks good. I like the black one.
bam! Another
that
black
black
Veteran
on
Gamer
black?
shirt. Hokey smoke, dude. This is
That
so
is
cool.
awesome. That
Thank
is a
you.
box of stuff.
It is a box of stuff. That's an incredible box of stuff. It
Oh,
looks
that's
like
a
the
new
box is
logo.
now
That looks
empty,
good. I've got to say, new
But
logo.
I can wear
does
it
look
on my
good, by the
head
way.
for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So there's that. Does that make my voice sound weird with a little echo?
You need to get that shirt on, man. Never mind anything else. I can't believe that
I'm not
was all in
changing
that
shirts
small
on the
box.
show. That's not what people want
now.
to see.
Put it out.
Why?
Just off
You
camera
can't
and
even
put it
see.
on.
Actually, I already have it on.
What?
I have it on already. I already put it on.
Well, no, you didn't.
No, it's a different one.
Hey,
How
So-
do you know? How do you know what shirt I'm wearing? The point is, it doesn't
I
matter
don't
because nobody can
know.
tell what shirt I'm wearing.
I've got to say though, I can't believe all of that was in that what looks like a very
know,
small
right?
box.
You did a good
Yeah.
job.
It's like
I
a
am
magic
keeping this
box.
on my head for the rest of the show, by the way.
I think you should definitely do it.
Box
Um,
head.
That was
I'm Duke
quite
the Box
a
Head.
loot
That was quite
box.
an unboxing.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
What, Chinny?
Wow.
What?
I said that was quite a loot box.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Ka-ching!
Well, I was
got a
going
lot
to
of
shout him
awesome
out
stuff out of
because
there.
shout him out because he's asked for my address and he's going to send stuff to me, and I believe he's got your
Yeah.
address too, Ginny.
Well, he's
So
got
the
my
question
work
is, who
address.
gets the next box?
No, I
And he said, I get to choose. So now we can begin currying my favor. Who will make the best offer?
Well,
in order
can
to
I
get the
just
next
say
Fuck
box?
before you
you.
carry on,
Fuck you.
I've got a
That's it, Stu
serious
gets it.
medical
It's Stu.
condition.
It's Stu.
Yeah.
There
Chinny
you go.
didn't
Yep.
want anything to
It's
do with this, so fuck him.
Yeah, fuck
me,
him.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Yourself.
No, I don't
That's it,
mind
Stu.
getting the stuff. I just don't want to bow to you.
yeah, true.
I know, and that's why you're never getting a box.
not
I'm
gonna
gonna see to
take-
it that your box
I'm not
is
going
held
to
up
take the knee.
post
No
forever.
boxes for you.
No.
Yeah, really. You're not gonna ever look as sexy as me with this box on your head.
Um,
Oh snap! That's my address. I don't want you to see that.
so we have people in the
Oh
chat,
crap!
but
That
no
might
one's.
be my address too. All right, I'm not wearing this anymore because my
We have-
address might accidentally show up on the screen.
We have people in the chat, but
What
no
do you
one's.
think they're
Still?
going to do, Duke? Come round to your house. What do you
I
think's
don't
going
want
to
to take
happen?
any chances, dude. Someone might
You think
swat me.
some psycho's going to swat you?
They might. We're
Um,
big celebrities.
I'm
Totally.
sorry to stop this conversation
Yeah.
I'm
about-
not. I'm glad you're stopping it.
about you bickering, you two, right?
I'm not bickering.
You're bickering.
We weren't.
just
we
saying
weren't-
who
it
wants
wasn't
to come
about
to
us
his
bickering.
house?
We were just bickering.
You two talk over each other constantly.
We
And
never
I
do.
have to
Yeah.
say, quite frankly, it's just
not true.
annoying. Heart condition aside, it's annoying, right?
Well, yeah.
There has to
That's why
be
we
a
do
bit
it.
of order. Stu, you're supposed to be a host. You're supposed
I
to
know,
keep the show
that's
on
right.
track.
Mm.
But you just, I
Oh.
can see you, Stu. You're just eating. You're just
I'm
eating.
eating nuts. I'm
Okay,
eating my
like I
healthy
was
nuts
saying
and
before, I
fruit.
was rudely interrupted.
I'm not allowed to eat any shit anymore. It's fucking hell.
Well, you shouldn't
Oh.
be eating shit to
Yeah,
begin
I
with.
wouldn't recommend
well,
shit.
everybody eats shit to eating it. Anyway,
I don't.
I've
eat
actually got a
shit.
story,
Our
by the
dog
way.
sometimes eats some chicken shit. That's
I
Um,
have got a story.
What's your story,
okay.
Stu?
It is
Is it
medical
Stu's story
related.
time now?
It is
Okay,
medical
That's
go
all
ahead.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just
I know,
medical stories
yeah.
now.
For the
So-
record, I didn't have any medical stories.
No.
so
You will.
So-
mix it up.
We discussed last
Not
week
this
that I
week.
was going for an MRI.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You sat in a little coffin for 2 hours. Huh?
Yeah, well, exactly. I thought it was a polo mint like the other one. It's fucking not, is it? It's a tube.
No.
I was saying a
Oh.
big tube.
I had to get pulled
Right.
out of an MRI at one point because I couldn't take it.
Oh,
It is
really?
right. Anyone with claustrophobia, do not go in an MRI
Yeah.
tube because it's like
It's rough.
2 inches from your face,
Yep.
right? But get this, right? 40 minutes. So I was in
Yeah.
it for 40 minutes, right? And for 40 minutes,
Yep.
every 10 seconds, I heard breathe in, breathe out,
Mhm.
hold
Wow.
your breath, right? And I
Oh
had to
my
hold my
goodness.
breath for 10 seconds
That's intense.
every 10 seconds for
Damn.
40 minutes.
Yeesh.
Would you want
It
like a
was-
fucking medal, Stu?
No, right. At one point, I'm like,
Do you want
I'm
a medal,
lying here,
Stu?
right, with heart failure,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
so I've got a fucking very dodgy ticker.
yeah, a
right?
dodgy ticker. You're not lying there with heart failure. Your heart's not failing you on the spot, is it? It's just. It's not,
It is
Um,
kind of failing him
well,
on the spot. It's
It is.
constantly
What
in a
it,
state of
right, just to
failure.
just to put you in the picture.
aye,
Okay,
fucking
what's my
Doctor
problem?
Doctor Fowler over here.
My left ventricle is functioning at 25% or less,
That's wank.
and a normal person's 55 to 60%.
Yeah,
Yeah, why don't you take
So
it
it's-
easy on him,
my
Chief?
left
pretty
ventricle's
shocking.
pissing all over yours.
It's classed as severe and chronic. Okay,
Stu,
just to
all
sort
I'm
of-
hearing is where, where.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm lying in a tube, holding my breath every 10 seconds, wondering when my heart's actually just going to stop.
See, yeah. Well, it won't.
That's
but
gotta be scary.
I mean,
Well, it
one-
could.
I mean, one day
It
it will,
could.
right? But it probably won't. But like, if you want a competition, Greasy Fish Lips has to do these for an hour,
God, that's mental. In an MRI for
That
an
is
hour.
mental.
and he has to. I think I don't know, but I can't speak for Marty. But I think he has to do them regular. So
Well,
you want to play
I'm
that
at
Somebody
violin?
else has always got it harder
I'm
than
at
you do.
risk. Can I
Somebody's
just
got a
say,
bigger violin than you.
I'm at risk
Stu,
of
put your
sudden
finger away
cardiac
from the
arrest.
camera. Put your
Sorry.
finger.
I
It's
didn't realise
weird.
it was I didn't realize it was a. I'm at risk of sudden cardiac arrest, so I could just die at any time.
You know what you're doing here? You're basically saying I'm
one
more.
upping, man.
I'm more
I'm
dead
more
than
ill
you.
than you. I'm
I'm
more
more
ill
dead
than you.
I'm closer to death
I'm
than you.
actually. Well, I could be.
Yeah,
Well,
but
anyway,
you know.
it sounds like quite an experience, Stu. Anything
It
else you want to tell us
was.
about the
We got the name of
MRI
the show,
process?
Stu. I'm more dead than you.
I'm more dead than you. No, I'm not. And I hope Greasy Fish Lips is fine. By the way, I know I'm taking the mickey a little bit, but
You've got a joke
taking a
about
mickey out of
these
the fact I
things.
could die at any
Maybe
time,
people
but who
should
knows?
think before they speak. Someone told me recently. A very wise man said.
You gotta
Anyway.
have a sense of humour, Stu. You gotta laugh.
You've
You gotta laugh,
You
yeah.
gotta laugh about it.
If you don't laugh, you cry.
You gotta laugh about it.
You gotta laugh.
Any other stories, Stu, or should we move on?
No, I can't remember what I was even saying then. We were
Yeah,
saying something else.
Ian-
I can't
Ian
Had
remember.
an
in the chat.
MRI. It was claustrophobic.
Ian in the chat says, "Oh, this is a cheery diversion, Stu. Thanks for cheering
And
up
if
the
anybody's
show."
listening
I
for
know,
the
I'm
first
trying
time,
to
we
cheer
will get
everyone
to
up with
video
my
games
anecdotes
soon, don't
about
worry.
nearly dying.
Yeah.
Kenny,
Yeah.
you got a story?
Oh, no, I'm too sad to tell it.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Penny, you're gonna be late.
Let's do
Bam,
Right.
Stu.
You have
Let's
once
get.
again. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was
Go
going
on.
to say, let's get into a game that we've all played this week. Let's just go.
Okay, let's
But
do it.
Duke, what
once
was you
again,
gonna
we've
say?
all played. We've started this a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. Committing to playing at least one game together.
I think this is
And
good.
these two played 2 games that were
We
the
did.
same, and I've only committed to 1. So,
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about
so we
the
talk about the one
long,
we all played.
the long dark.
Long-
Let's talk about that.
The long dark.
Yeah.
This has been in development for many, many years. I
Right.
played it on early access way back in the day, before it even had a story mode.
Yeah. So this is that's what I was shocked about. Is so for people that don't
Yeah.
know, this is a
So at least we started
survival-
somewhere
Ooh,
good.
survival game. Sorry, I'm playing the video. This is a survival game. Like there's been many survival games where you
Yeah.
get trees and wood and all this sort of shit.
Well, you're
But
not getting trees in this game. You're
no,
just
d-
barely.
you're just
you're getting
freezing
wood from
to
wherever
death.
You can.
But
Freezing
I
to
suppose the
death.
thing about this one is they've added a story mode, which is why Stu
Yes.
was. It's caught Stu's attention because it's got one of these.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
I've had
lame
it on my
stories.
wish list for ages
Yeah.
on
'Cause
Steam.
Now it's
Obviously,
a,
it came on.
survival game and a walking simulator in one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came on Game Pass, and I was still like, oh, it's a survival thing. I don't know whether I'm that interested in that. And then I heard there was a whole old story thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there
I'm like,
is.
interesting. This is
Now,
survival mode, by the way.
To begin with, when you start the game up, it starts right in with this whole. Your purchase of this game has helped plant 6 billion trees, and yep. Now, first of all, has it? Do we really? I mean, I don't know if I trust this stuff. It's often in the form of carbon offset, and John Oliver did a really good segment about carbon offsets recently. So I take that with a grain of salt. I'm glad they want to, donate to worthy causes of ecological preservation with the game. But I'd be curious to know more about how they're doing it.
I think it's cool if they are doing that. That is a cool thing to do. They said they
I think
planted
so, too.
10,000 new trees or something due to people buying the
but-
game, didn't they?
But here's the thing: a lot of, and I'm not saying that's true about this company, but a lot of companies will do what's called greenwashing, which is making it look like they're planting trees, but they don't actually ever plant trees. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Like-
curious. Like I said, I want to know more.
How do they do that? Do they just? Is it just Photoshop?
Well, no, it's donating to organizations that claim
Not
to
plant
plant
trees.
Ah.
not
Yeah.
actually doing it.
Because I can
Watch John
Photoshop
Oliver. It's really
myself
good.
planting trees pretty well. To
Yeah,
be fair.
exactly.
Go ahead,
easily
do
do
it.
it.
I want to see that.
I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that instead
Okay,
of work.
So, yeah, we start in a hangar. This
Yeah, in his
plane,
office.
This guy's in an office in a hangar. It's really cold, and he's gonna start making a fire. And so it does this thing of sort of getting you going with
Kind of a
Um,
tutorial, but not really.
kind of a tutorial. Well, you're not on the brink of death yet.
No,
it's,
but can I just say before we move on, right?
go ahead,
It shows
say
you
it.
how to make a fire in a grate by
Yes.
just sticking stuff in it. But when you
Yes.
actually get into the game, that is not how you make a fire.
Well, no, but
Can
you
I
just
just-
put it on the ground. It's the
Yeah, but
same
I did.
basic
It doesn't even tell you
process.
how to use the radial wheel, right? I was like, well, how the fuck
That's
am I meant to
true,
make
that's
a
true.
fire?
It would have been very
tells you
nice to
nothing.
have that.
Fucking nothing, right?
Like-
It should have said, I was nearly dead before I figured out how to make a fire.
You know
Yeah,
when
there's-
I was nearly dead when I was playing this game? All the
All the
time.
time.
Listeners, do you want to and do you enjoy being almost dead all the time? Play this game.
That's the long
That's
dark.
what it's like, man.
Yeah.
Because that's what it would be like if you were stranded at the North
So,
Pole.
so can I just say, so you get in, so some shit goes down, some woman turns up and says he's got some fucking
Oh my
weird secret
God.
briefcase.
You know what I
shit.
wrote?
They've
I
been through
wrote.
some stuff, man.
I wrote that this game was written by fucking AI. Because the way they
Here's why. Go ahead.
the way they talk to each other is like, so still trying to save the world, huh? We better get
Yeah,
on
yeah.
better get on the plane vehicle and go to the mountain times. What are you,
Can I just
what?
say-
Here's the thing, right?
The voice acting
ahead.
isn't that bad.
Shut
the
up.
voice acting
Voice
is
acting is
kind of
fine.
all
The
right.
writing-
Kind of
the
all right. The
writing is the
writing, though.
problem.
ooh.
The
Well,
writing is the and here's why.
I can't
Here- can
believe
tell you
you're a
exactly
doctor
why it's a
person.
problem.
What is it
Here's
that-
what they're doing.
what,
They are
briefcase?
info dumping while trying not to look like they're info dumping. So
Yeah.
for those who don't know, info dumping is when a man comes into the room and he sees his ex-wife and he goes, "Hey, ex-wife, how's it going?" Now that's horrible. Nobody does that, right? That's just the most crass form of info dumping.
I sometimes walk into the living room and say, "Hello, wife."
How you doing?
Right.
I do.
Exactly. When I see all of y'all, I say, "Hello, fellow podcast hosts."
Yes.
Like are you ready to start the show I've been doing for 11 years? But here's the thing. In this game, they're trying so desperately to like get right up to the edge of the info that they're about to dump, and then they stop. At one point when the plane crashes, spoilers, there's a plane crash.
Yeah, there is.
When he's like, "Wait a minute, I have to say this. I really want to be able to tell you that oh god, we're going down." Like really? Like they were just about to dump some info, and then so over and over during this
That's to keep
conversation,
you guessing,
which
man,
goes
though.
on. Yeah, you know what? There's other ways to keep the audience guessing. You don't have to just whatever. It was just ridiculous, and it felt so frustrating because I could tell what they were doing, and it just pissed me off. Like, give me some info or don't.
Yeah, I think the reason why they've obviously split up is because the man already looks like he's been outside for 78,000 days.
Yeah, yeah. He's got a really red nose. He
Very
looks like
red nose,
Rudolph.
very pale cheeks.
Yeah.
Looks like Rudolph.
They
here's
kept
the
talking
thing,
about
right?
like you can't bring him back, and I assume that's their kid. I mean, I don't know anything about the story, but
I don't know.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
well,
they
we're
lost
gonna
a kid at
find
some
out if you
point.
keep playing. But here's
I'm
the
not gonna
thing.
find out. I'm
I
done
ain't
with
gonna
this shit.
find
Well, listen. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So I got to the plane crash bit, right? Fucking collected some wood and stuff and broke down a
Yes.
crate. Couldn't
Yes.
figure the fuck how to make a fire. Just kept going in the corner of
Yes.
a cave
Yes.
and dropping wood on the floor, expecting that's how
Yes.
you did it. And nope, that's not
Right.
how you do
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So I did all that shit, and eventually I was nearly dying, but I managed eventually just to figure out how to do it without googling it.
Congratulations.
Made a fire. What I didn't realize is, though, you have to put enough wood on to see you through till the morning.
Of course.
So what
Yes.
then happened is I only put enough on for an hour. When I woke
Yes.
up, I was absolutely fucking freezing and starving to death.
Which
And
was
my,
sensible.
my health had gone down to probably about an inch.
Oh
if
yeah.
that, if I was lucky.
Yeah. Sure.
Then I climbed up the rock face thing, right? Got to
Yep.
where the plane had crashed.
Yeah.
Then I was almost dead and tried to make another fire, died
Yep.
again, actually
Yep.
died, and had to start at the last checkpoint. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this fucking game is done. So I turned it off, and that was that, or so I thought.
Oh.
And then I
So
thought,
you
you know
said-
I
what?
want to say, this game. I'm done.
But
I
then
couldn't
you
even
came
figure
back
out how to
it.
make water, right? So I thought, right, do you know what I'm going to do? And now that I know how to do all this shit, I'm going to have another go.
Start off. from the
Start off
moment of
again, because it
crash,
wasn't
and
that
then-
far in. I was only, 15,
Yeah.
20 minutes into the game. And I am hooked.
Oh.
Oh snap! He's got it
I
now,
had a
people.
complete 180.
Are
And I'll
you
tell
playing
you
this?
why.
It does
Are you
require a lot of
playing this on
experimentation when
the
you first start.
Are you playing this on the easy mode?
Of course, and that's not that easy either, let me tell you.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
So I'm playing on easy mode, right? And I thought, fuck it, right? I know what I'm doing now. I know how to make water. I'm going to do it. So
Boil some
by
snow.
the time I'd slept in the cave, I made sure I put enough wood for 6 hours on the
There you
fire.
go.
When I
Or
woke up
you
in the
don't have
morning,
to necessarily. I mean, well, whatever. Go ahead.
as soon as I woke up, I'd made some water. All right. So,
Yeah.
but
It hadn't
then
boiled
I'd-
all away.
No, because I didn't fucking realize you had to leave it on to boil it, and then it's like you've got
Ah.
dysentery. I was like, the what? The fuck? I'm literally
It's
just
like
from some
the
melted
Oregon
snow,
Trail. Yeah.
and I've got fucking dysentery, right? So I'm like, right, start again. So I went back 5 minutes to my last save,
Yeah.
slept again, and then I had a genius idea. I thought, if I put the water on the edge of the fire as I go to sleep, there'll be one ready in the morning. But of course, it'll boil dry because if you
Yep.
leave it too long, it keeps on boiling. It's
Yep.
like, for fuck's sake. So, so I actually boiled, did the water, boiled it, put that in my thing. Yeah, I had enough fire left to do another one, so I did 2.
And by
So
the
I
way,
drank-
sorry, if I could just cut in real quick. When you take the water out of the can, you have you get a can early on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
take
get
the
a
water
can.
out of the can, and then it's in your inventory. Where? You just pour it in your backpack or something? Like it's
No, no,
it's
it
like
goes
Chris.
into.
It's like Chris
No.
Rock in "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," and he goes,
No, when you
Yeah,
make
exactly.
"How much is
Give me one rib.
No.
how much is water?
When you
Just put
make-
it in my hand.
You have
5
a
cents."
plastic, you've got a plastic bottle. When you boil your water, you put it in a plastic
Where
bottle.
did this
That's
plastic
in your-
bottle come from?
It was in your rucksack. When
Oh,
you
no,
when he
it
picks up
wasn't.
all his survival gear when you get on the plane, it's part of his
That's
survival gear.
convenient. Anyway, it's fine.
But it gives
Whatever,
you
go
loads
on.
of stuff.
That's
It's not
convenient that he
mean.
puts something
Yeah.
sensible in his
It's not that
backpack,
mean.
Duke.
Exactly,
It's very,
dude. Why
very
wouldn't
food
you?
in his backpack.
No, he wouldn't. That's
I gotta
Anyway,
throw
you get
rocks
a
at
couple of-
rabbits in order to stun them and then run over
You
and
know,
strangle
again,
them. The fuck?
Once you know what you're doing, not
yeah,
that bad.
exactly.
But it takes a
It's
bit getting
not.
used
It's
to.
true, but it's a bit much to
And-
be like, oh, I'm barely surviving. Oh, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this stale granola bar that was left behind, and then I'm gonna throw rocks at rabbits, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
eat
what are you
one.
gonna
and it's
do,
gonna-
man? I thought that was quite good
What
because
are
I
you
thought,
gonna
you
do,
know
man?
what? If you haven't got any shit with you, you're gonna have to improvise.
I know, but like
Well, yeah, I know.
when
And
you
you've
But
gotta
I
be
don't like
quick.
having a game where I'm constantly on the edge of
when
death.
you
all
throw
the time.
those, I felt so pathetic throwing those rocks at those rabbits. I was like, oh man. This
Well, when
is...
you crouch, they
pretty
come right up to you
ridiculous.
nearly, so it's not that big a deal.
All right.
So
But
if you crouch down,
I did enjoy cracking its neck.
yeah,
I
and then you
had fun.
obviously you dissect it, then you stick it
Yeah.
on your fire.
You
You have
cook
some
it.
cooked meat, but don't fucking cook it too much, you burn it.
Burn it, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, but then,
But
right, so I'm
in case
doing
you
all
haven't
that.
noticed this, in case anybody doesn't know, when you are cooking something, you can look at it and like right click or whatever, and it'll give you an option to pass time until it's done,
Yes, it does.
which
yeah.
is nice.
Oh, I
'cause
didn't
then
know
you don't have
that.
to
That's thank
monitor
you
it.
for that tidbit. I
You're
didn't even know
welcome.
that.
See,
was a
I'm
thing.
helpful. God damn it!
Didn't even know that was a thing. But here's the thing. You
Yeah.
know what I like? Like aesthetically, I love the fact that the sky looks like an oil painting.
I never
I'm
noticed
like,
that
that
because I'm
looks
too
so
busy
Yes.
trying to survive.
But anyway, well, I was full health at this point, full
Yeah.
water,
Stuart,
full
stop
food.
whining about minor
I was
aesthetic
fine.
details.
I knew there was an issue with the game because I'm playing it on not the easy setting, the other one.
Yeah, you should have
Medium
definitely
one.
played it on
And-
the easy side.
And like I knew there was something wrong when I was by the campfire. I was kind of fed because I had a rabbit and I bought some water, and I was like, you know what? I just don't want to move. I think I'm just gonna stay by this
Yeah,
fire.
but you can't do that because what happened
It's
to me?
like at the end of The Shining, you just freeze to death in the
Yeah.
snow.
Well, I was sat next to the fire, right, cooking me food, and I just managed to cook another bit of rabbit, and then the fucking wind blew the fire out.
Oh,
And then when I tried to light another fire, it went, it's too windy to light another fire. I was
Yeah.
like, for fuck's sake. So I
That's
thought,
actually
fuck
the
it.
official sound effect of this video game. All day, every day, when you're playing this game, it's just one
Yeah.
thing after another.
yeah.
So right, so I thought, fuck it, right. So I thought I'll have to set off. So I set off, and I went down
Yes.
this valley, and there's a fucking
Yes.
wolf eating a bloody
Yes. You
deer.
gotta
or
keep
something.
your distance from the wolves, man.
So I skirted the wolf, and then he's like, "Oh, radio tower." So I'm like, "Shit,
Yeah.
civilization."
That's right.
So I went to the radio tower. Then it's like, go to the town, and then I met the grey
She-
lady.
the great
Have you met the
lady,
great-
she
did you meet
almost
the
shoots
great
you,
lady?
man.
Well, she's fine though because at least you've got a fire to cook on. You've got a bed to sleep in.
I've just is it
Yeah,
is
if
it
you
in
don't
that
get
house?
Shot.
Yeah.
I literally got to the house, wait for the explosion, and I got to the house, and then I turned it off because I had to do this show. But yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Well,
Well, at
Chinny,
least
you
it
missed
feels
out on
safe
a
for
very,
the first time.
very. I mean, I'll be fair. That conversation with her is very,
pretty
very
good.
long. It's very
Pretty
long.
good,
No,
though.
I was gonna say long. I wasn't gonna say good. It's not good. It's
Long.
it's
boring.
all right.
Well,
Keeps
dude,
going on and on about
Duke.
the bed. Wait a minute. Let me give you a little taste of what the conversation's like, Chinny. Okay, you're starving. You're frozen to death, and you come into this house, and this woman says, "The bad men came through. They took everything.
bitch, where's the
Well,
food?
Some shit's
Hey.
gone down though. That's all you know.
They-
Bitch, where's the food?
they came through.
Give me
months
fucking
ago.
water. I need water for
The-
fuck's
the
sake,
ba-
bitch.
The bad man. Like, I can just imagine someone saying, like, "Give me water."
me fucking
The
water.
Bad man.
I
But
didn't
it-
need anything though. I was fine, man.
It is
I was
it is
healthy.
called yeah, but I'm playing it on like a proper mode, not like pussy mode.
Well, that's
Right.
because you.
And
Okay,
I'm
I
just,
don't know.
Chinny's impatient and Stu's weak, so we've all got some deficit.
but
that
but I'm
we-
I'm
Yeah.
I'm like the guy from RoboCop covered in acid. Do you know what I mean? I'm crawling to the
Yeah,
fucking.
and instead of saying "Get off of me," the lady's going, "The bad men came."
I was
through
giving
here."
her food, helping her out. You know what I mean?
No, I was
Well,
on
then
the
she's
edge.
like, "Go find these supplies on the other side of town." Oh God, I don't have time for this.
Of course you do. I think I'm liking it. I am actually.
I'm glad
enjoying
you
it.
like it.
I think it's
I
well. I,
remember
think
when I
it's well
played it
made.
back
I
in
think
the
it's
day.
yeah,
Go
it's
ahead,
well
Jim.
put together. It's like it's aesthetically quite nice.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's good. It's good. I just it was very brutal. Though.
Do you know what I like
if-
the best
if-
about it though, Ginny?
The fact that it's a walking simulator.
The fact that you
No,
played
the
it
fact
on
you
pussy mode and I didn't.
The fact you don't have to craft shit. It's
Right.
just
You
like
don't have to craft
here's
shit.
You
You
have to-
crafted
here's
a
a hatchet.
fire. What are you talking
Yeah,
about? You
well,
don't have to
that's-
craft shit.
well, you don't have to
collected
really
wood.
do
You
anything.
collected
Dude.
matches. You collected newspaper.
There's
you put them all
literally-
together and made a fire.
I
There's
didn't
no
have to make
Stu.
a
crafting here.
hatchet, man. I just
Stu.
picked one up.
If there's
Yeah,
a
it was
section,
in your hand. Ah!
Stu, if there's a section in the inventory called blueprints, this game has crafting.
Well,
Of
yes,
course it's
but
crafting.
it's not as complex as a
You
lot
mean
of
it's not
crafting.
Well, that's
complicated
true.
crafting? That's what
Yes.
you mean.
Correct.
I agree
it's
with that.
simple.
It's
And I
still
like
crafting, though.
simple.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. It is simple. I agree with that. But it is very brutal in terms of the survival part. The story spends a lot of time on backstory. And meanwhile, there's very little front story. The first hour of the game, here's the front story. You ready? Lady comes in. She has a mysterious package. Will you help me take this to this place? And then you're like, no. And then she's like,
I'm not telling you
"Please."
what
And you
it
go,
is.
Yes. And then she goes, yes. And then the guy goes, yes. And then you get in the plane. The plane goes down. You have to survive. That's the whole story at the beginning of the game. It shouldn't take an hour to get that. But they're talking on and on about the past.
You can skip the cutscenes, by the way.
Yeah,
Huh.
but then I have no idea what's going on.
Still a
Why do you give a
doctor, huh?
shit? You don't even give a
Well,
shit.
that's the point. Is that well, a good story will make me care.
Yes.
And all I'm saying is, I know that I'm very impatient when I play games like this. Yes, I am. But Gone Home did something. It got its hooks in me. Same
It's
with
not strictly a
Tacoma.
walking simulator because you
No.
have
A
to
lot
do
of it
a
is
lot
walking
of shit.
simulation and conversation.
There's
like
more of a
sitting
game in
through a
this, Steve,
Yeah,
than
there
there is Gone
definitely
Home.
is.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no,
you're
absolutely.
being a
There is more of a
little
game. No,
bit
no, that's
harsh.
true. But okay, fine. There's two parts to the game. There's the survival bits, and then there's the conversation / walking simulator.
Yeah.
And again, look, if you enjoyed it, that's cool. I'm just saying, people need to know what they're getting into. So
Yeah, I don't think I'll continue with it. I
No,
might play it a
think I
little
am. I
longer.
liked it.
I might play it a little
I'm
longer.
intrigued though as to what's going on. Is it some weird disease?
I just don't. Look, given that the fantastic voice acting and brilliant storytelling so far, I don't have faith that this game will deliver in keeping me hooked in.
I mean, okay, so here's what I'll say. First of all, when I played it back in the day, I remember being frustrated by the difficulty, intrigued by the potential, like how good would I feel when I do start surviving and get a bow and arrow and like
Yeah.
conquering the wilderness and stuff. I never reached that point. I remember playing
No.
this for like 5 hours back in the day, and I never reached a point where I was like setting up a little base or like feeling like I was on top of things. It was always just going from one moment of near death to the next. And maybe I had it on the wrong game mode or something, but who knows? Anyway, so that's my experience from back in the day. Now with the story mode, like I am intrigued by the idea that like you can get out of here, because that's what a thing that a lot of games don't
Yeah.
have of this ilk. And we talked about Stranded Deep does have an
Yeah.
objective at the end. Dyson Survival Sphere or whatever it's called, that has an end game. So I think that's what a good survival game needs, is some kind of
Yeah.
end game. But then
Stranded Deep.
yeah, Factorio.
Well, then
so
Stranded Deep.
whatever.
What was the story in that?
No.
To
It
get
had
off
an
the
end
island.
game. It had an end game.
It didn't have a
this
story
has,
necessarily,
though,
but it
but
had
this
it.
kind
Well,
of
that's
tries to
what-
have a
that's
story
Duke's
and
point.
then-
No, that's my point. Is that
That's
it's
his
good that
point.
it has that.
He's
Yeah.
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just not willing to devote all the time to get to that. So I might read the summary. I don't know, but it's the experience. It's meant to be an experience. So.
And for me,
there's good stuff in here, and I'm enjoying. I enjoyed some of it, and you do reach. Sorry, I'll shut up in a second, Stu. Let
No,
me
it's
talk.
fine.
But like, there is a degree to which, as you say, Stu, you kind of get on top of it. Like, you figure out how to warm yourself. You get enough meat from the squirrels. You get to someone who has a fire you can hang out near. But it is you do have a quest to find this lady, and you're supposed to keep it moving, which is fine. In my survival games, I really like to like set up a base.
it
and, like, have
reminds me
someplace
a
to-
little bit of Fallout 76 because that's kind of that story setup, isn't it? Some
Yeah,
woman
sort
that
of.
you're tracking goes missing,
Right,
and you've got to
right.
track her down.
Which is also the story in Fallout 3 and Fallout.
Yeah. So it is a
Vegas
kind of
to some
trope
extent.
that's used a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
oh totally.
I think they're just doing it, string it together. You know what I mean? It's sort of, but they are. I'll be honest. I'll be in a total agreement. Some of the cutscenes were so long.
And I kind
And I
of
do
regret.
feel
already
like-
It is
saw
called
I'm
The
not
Long
going back.
Dark.
Well, it is.
But here's
I
the
do-
thing, Stu and Chinny. Sorry, I wonder, Chinny, if you would get a better kick out of the survival mode, because there is like a sandbox kind of mode where you just
Yeah,
wander
yeah.
around and try to survive. You
Yeah,
don't have to deal with
probably.
cutscenes.
Probably. I don't mind the like having a linear story to go
Yeah.
through. In fact, I quite like the idea. I just thought it was very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
And
Maybe just try
yeah.
it again, but on the easier setting.
try the pussy mode. What do you think I am?
No, it isn't though.
No, but it's
Even-
not easy. I agree with
joking.
what Stu's saying. Like I
I'm
played it on the
joking,
regular mode,
but that
I
would
don't think it
require
be
me to
easy.
play it again, and I'm not sure I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. I mean, I'll be honest. Once you get the sewing kit and you can fix all your shit up, that helps.
Yeah, maybe that is something I should do. Is play it on the story
I'm
mode.
quite enjoying it, and I think that's partly because it is this almost survival light You know, like not survival like because it's not, but sort of crafting like, should I say? And I quite like the
Yeah.
fact that I don't have to do loads of shit. Like I can just throw a
Sure.
rock at a
Yeah,
rabbit.
yeah.
And I know you've got to be quick to grab the little fucker once you've done it, otherwise you run off again,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
pain in the ass.
Which
But
I
once
didn't
you get
realize
the
at
hang
first. I
of
threw
it-
the rock and I thought I killed him with the rock, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And then he got up. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my god,
Yeah,
zombie
little
rabbit.
shits.
Oh wait. I
But they
just-
come back really quick. It's not like it's really
Yeah.
mean and they don't see him for another
Right.
half an hour. They're back in like 5 seconds. So he gives you lots of, and you can pick up as fucking hundreds of stones. It's not like it's limited on that. And I think it's very generous on the stuff it gives you, but it is still quite harsh on the sort of how quick your stats go down if you don't do things quick enough. Which I think is quite a good balance,
Yeah.
really.
Agreed.
So I'm quite enjoying it, and I like the setting. I like the aesthetic. I love the, like I say, I love the sky looking like an oil painting.
yeah,
it-
it is
it's
a very
just
pretty
super
game to
simple.
look
I
at,
never
despite most of
noticed.
it being snow and rock.
Never noticed that.
Well, you
Yeah.
should look up more, Chinny.
If you
Come
look
on,
when
man.
when the sun's
Appreciate your
setting, it
environment.
looks incredible. It's like all
This is-
different colours. It
You
looks
probably go to
amazing.
Spain and don't look at the ocean, huh?
And like at night, there's loads of aurora borealis and stuff like that. It's a very beautiful
Hey,
game.
Aurora Borealis at this
Oh, they
time
had it in
of year, this
Skyrim
part of the
14 years
country.
ago.
So in
Uh,
the
No, I
chat,
turned
in
that
the
off in Skyrim too. I'm sick of Aurora
in the
Borealis.
chat, we have Ian who said he played 20 minutes of Long Dark and he deleted it shortly afterwards. He noped out of there. Deck in the chat said, Deck is I think he's the underground train driver.
It could be.
He said the Long Dark is my winter Christmas game. Decent campaign. I'm like used to. I dislike survival games, but in general, I've really enjoyed this.
I feel like it's a game made for people like me who don't generally like crafting loads
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It is
I-
more of, I mean, because there's a difference between survival and crafting, and most of the time they go together. But in this case, it's more survival and less crafting.
Yeah,
I like
feel
the
like
idea
it's-
of this. I thought it was a bit too harsh, so I'll try it on the story mode. Is my
Yeah.
conclusion?
Yeah, on the easy one. I think, but it's still a challenge, and I think the balance I don't know what the difference is in the hard. These things just run out quicker?
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Played the normal one.
Yeah.
the
But I
easy
think
But
what
I will
I
say
like.
this.
Go on.
I will say this.
Borealis? Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yeah.
Brilliant. No, what I think, like I said already, I think what this game does really well is that balance between giving you loads of shit, because there's always loads of wood around and crates to break down and all that stuff to make
Well, there
fires.
is now, but wait till you get out there, man.
No, I'm sure you're right. But it balances that off with making it still quick for you to lose health and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it kind of balances well because it's generous with the shit it gives you, but it's still gonna be, strict on how quick you die if you don't do stuff fast enough. I like it. I mean, it's a thumbs up from me. So I'm gonna play more of it.
Well, all right. So we have
Okay.
some divided opinions about the Long
Yeah.
Dark. Check it out for yourself, people.
Check it out.
If you
Yeah.
have access to
Just
Game
play
Pass.
it.
Just play it.
Is it on
Just
Game
play it.
Pass?
Just
Play
play
it.
it. Just
Play
play
it.
it. Just play it.
Is it on Game Pass?
It is on
Yes.
Game Pass on
Okay, 'cause
both.
I
on
bought it
all.
on Steam a long time ago, but
No, it's on Game Pass.
okay.
I know. I feel
right,
this
well, who's
guy's
next?
frustration, by the way, trying to hit rabbits with rocks.
You go on.
Yeah,
you go
fuck
on.
them rabbits.
Yeah, you got to be quick, man.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I love the fact that he's.
Okay, we
he's
are
just doing
done.
it that long range. I could never have
We
done
are
that.
done.
Anyway, we're done. We're done.
Yes, we're done.
Uh,
Who's next?
Well,
I
you've
don't
got
know.
you've got quite a few, Duke. So why
Yeah,
don't
I've
you?
only got 3 this
go
week.
through?
Okay. I finished Monument Valley.
Woo! I didn't even
Panoramic
finish that. Is that a
edition.
finish? Oh no, that's the puzzle game, isn't it?
Yeah, the puzzly game. This is a game that came out on the mobile devices, and then they made a panoramic edition for Steam. And as I said last week, it's gorgeous to look at. It pulls art from MC Escher, and it gave us some real head scratchers at the end. Some stuff that it gets a little intricate with like what you're trying to do, but once you kind of get the hang of it, the best thing about it is that when you solve some of the puzzles, the buildings start to unfold and stuff, and it's really rewarding to look at, as well as there's a pretty interesting finish in the final moments of the game. But I'm not really done with this game because there's another mode of like 8 levels in this game. I'm not even talking about the sequel yet. I'm talking about like there's 8 new levels that they put in, I think just in the panoramic edition, or maybe it was DLC in the original or something. But anyway, there's more of the game for me to play now that I've finished it, but I haven't gotten to that yet. So Monument Valley, big thumbs up. Not really much to say about it, I guess. There's a
Yeah, it's
reason
not
why
very
this is-
long, I remember. It's quite
Right.
a short game. It doesn't take long
It
to
is.
get through.
There's a reason why it's the most highly rated mobile
But
game
it's
perhaps of all
beautiful.
time.
It's a beautiful game.
Gorgeous. Should I talk
Nice.
about one more, or we want to swap it around?
Go for one more. Go for
Yeah,
one
go
more.
on. Go,
Okay.
why not?
Why
Okay,
not?
I'll do another short one. There's
It's
a new
Halloween.
MMO out.
Right.
It's called The Tower of Fantasy.
Yeah. Right.
All the reviews say it's the new Genshin. It's the new Genshin. So
Okay.
for those who don't know, Genshin Impact is an MMO.
Oh, it looks
that
like
is-
Genshin Impact.
Gotcha. Gacha. Are you familiar with this phenomenon in Japanese games?
The gotcha
So it's
games,
basic-
yeah.
It's basic, right? It's like RNG. You know,
Yes.
you have random stuff show. It's Borderlands style loot gathering
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. This game is fucking incoherent.
Yes.
It is so weird. It's like if
Mm.
Mr. Sparkle made a video game. Just like at one point, there's these monsters coming at you that look like dogs that have been mutated, and then the next second you're riding a robot drone around, and then you're catching a fish with your bare hands,
It's
and
like-
you put it into this trash can that springs to life and starts singing and dancing. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like a game for people that have ADHD.
Like severe ADHD. And I
Yeah.
don't want to slag on people with ADHD or simplify it or make it into a joke, because that can be a serious medical condition or whatever. But it is designed for it's designed for a
God.
TikTok generation that does not want to pay attention to anything for more than 12 seconds.
Sorry, Duke. I was
Uh,
zoning out to what you were saying to look at the two-headed dog and also
Yeah.
the joke
I
that
mean,
I
the
just made.
graphics are impressive, and the
It
problem, as
looks
always, with
great. Can I
it
just
does
say?
look great, and it plays very well. There's a little stuttering, and there's clearly 20 things going on all the time. So it's like, if they focused a little more, then it wouldn't be as much stuttering. But whatever. You gotta get
Wow.
the kids' attention these
This
days.
Look at
looks
that
fucking
character.
cool.
Look at that character selection screen, like male or female. That's unbelievable.
It is very cool.
That's
no
the
doubt about it.
best male or female
looks-
selection I have ever seen. in
That
my
looks
life.
fucking. I don't know what you two are talking about. This thing looks slick.
It is slick, but the gameplay is incoherent, and the story makes no sense whatsoever. And there might
Well, did
be
he have
some
these
cultural
Japanese anime
difference, but-
things?
Well, yeah, I'm saying though, Genshin kind of made sense. There's this dragon, you gotta
Well, I
help it, or
guess.
maybe it's trying to kill you. Like, who knows? Anyway, the point is that one of the biggest gripes I have with it is the gripe I have with a lot of Japanese games, which is, as Chinny says, the girls all look like they're 7, and the guys all look like they're whatever.
Girls.
Well, at least they're
Right.
clothed, kind of.
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of time they're not. Like, they have these short,
Ah.
tiny little skirts, and you're just like,
There was one
Dude, what are
angle
you
just
doing?
where like the camera pan around this lady and
Oh,
like
yeah.
her boobs
Right
were
up her
still in
skirt.
the shot. And,
And
it
her-
was
Genshin
and she's got
Impact
this
is a
weird
little bit
shirt.
like that still,
she's
to
got
be
this
fair.
weird shirt with like half the shirt cut off, so you got a lot of under boob and stuff, and it's like, what are you doing? Now, that said, once you arrive at the start of the actual game, because there's a sort of a tutorial thing at the beginning, you get to pick your clothing. And so I picked this something where she's actually wearing a jacket or something. So it's like, I don't have to look at her half naked body all the time. Yeah. The drone controls like crap. At one point, you're riding around on this drone, and it's not really clear why. But at one point you're on this cliff, and then she's like, "Okay, take the drone," and you take the drone and you fly around with it for a while. And you're like, "Okay, I guess I have a drone I can use if I'm up on a cliff and I need to get down." And then I was on a cliff. I tried to jump off it and activate the drone, and it didn't work. And so I'm just and I nearly died. And then another time she goes, "All right, watch me get off the cliff here." And she does this running jump leap thing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's how you do it." And I tried to do it, and I didn't. I almost died. And then later she goes, "Now watch this cliff." And she had some jetpack thing. She's like, "Activate the jetpack." I'm like, why don't you just pick? That's one thing about Breath of the Wild, is that you have a glider, and if you jump off of something, you can just activate the glider and glide to the ground. Not in this game.
Sure.
I mean, it's free, so there's that.
Yeah.
I've got to
haven't
say,
hit
can I
any
just say, I've just been
paywalls.
watching combat, and
Yeah.
I could barely see what was happening. It was that quick. I mean,
Right,
this-
and basically,
wow.
what it trains you to do is like look for the way the arrow is pointing in terms of the combat. I mean, you're looking at a scene with quick time events, so that's when you take a boss down. You basically have
Yeah.
quick time events. But later on, when you're fighting ordinary monsters, you are, they'll have a damage indicator, and you just sort of aim for something that has a damage indicator, and you basically spam the left mouse button.
Yeah.
You
Just to let you
also-
know that this is not a Japanese game.
Oh,
What?
what? Where is it
Is
made
it a
then?
South Korean game?
China.
China.
Fair enough.
Ah, interesting.
China.
So thank you for that
Which
clarification.
is different to Japan.
Well, of
is.
course, and it means that they're probably using this telemetry to like collect info on us. So
Correct.
I don't trust the
Yeah,
And
Chinese
they
that's
are.
why it's free.
even more than Japanese.
It
government.
feels very Japanese watching it, I have to say.
Well, of course,
Well-
they know they're trying to appeal to a certain audience.
They're over there, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's all that same
So
side, isn't
anyway,
it?
yeah, you have all these different weapons. You
Oh,
have
dear.
swords. You have glaives. You have.
If you want to
guns,
complain
have
to the
bows,
show,
you
just
have
podcast at
turrets.
Veteran Gamers. Okay,
But yeah, just send us an email with your
Yeah,
complaint
yeah,
about
that's fine.
Chinese racism.
don't worry about it.
And you have this meter that you're filling up every time you hit a monster, and then the way you unleash the power you've got built up is you switch weapons, and that does like some sort of special move where you're just like flying around and
This combat looks pretty
delivering-
good.
it's not unsatisfying, the combat.
It does look cool,
The
I have
Yeah.
to say.
problem is that it feels like it gets old pretty quickly, and I've
It
only played it for
looks
like an hour.
very Devil May Cry sort of combat to me, and I like that kind of combat.
The thing is with Devil May Cry, and I haven't played the most recent one, but back in the day, the beautiful part of the Devil May Cry games is that you had a lot of options. So you could just keep whacking them with your standard attack, but you also had the ability to like pop them in the air and then like attack. them
Oh
with
yeah,
different
Devil
things.
May Cry has some
Eric,
sick
uh,
combat.
Darren in the chat says, "What makes it an MMO?"
So
Yeah,
I
where
have
is
not
everybody?
gotten to the part with the MMO stuff.
Yeah,
which
where
a
is
good
everyone?
Question. Yeah, I assume that at some point it will open
There'll
up
be a
more,
hub
or there will
area
be
somewhere,
other
won't there?
people- Right, exactly. So there is a kind of hub area that I've been in, but it's mostly like a hub area with me and the other characters. So I haven't gotten to the MMO part.
Yes.
But the fact that it's free is a sign of an MMO.
It sounds like it's as much as an MMO as Destiny is an MMO, by the sounds of it. Whereas, like,
right.
Yeah, there might be like
it might be more
communal events
incorporated
and
that way,
stuff.
but yeah, I right. So we might start calling those sort of MMOs, in that they are technically multiple.
because Genshin
multi-
Impact, you do a lot of stuff on your own.
Right. So the big difference between this and Genshin Impact is that you don't switch between characters very much, or you don't at all. You just have one character.
just
Yeah.
one
And I like that.
dude
I
will
hated
do
that.
that.
That's the thing that bugged me the most about Genshin Impact was constantly switching between characters, which you had to do. You can have one that's generally your favorite, but as soon as you fight an ice monster, if you're not using the fire character, you shit out of luck. So
You're screwed.
annoying.
Yeah.
So Tower of Fantasy,
Tower
it's free.
of
It's worth
Fantasy,
the money.
ladies and
Worth a
gentlemen.
giggle if you liked Genshin. If you want to play something kind of like that.
What,
if you want
what are
something
the
that's
what are the
really
people
incoherent
saying?
and
Is it got
crazy
good
to look at.
ratings? Do people like this?
Generally, it has pretty good ratings. I'd say it's early. It just came out like a day or two ago, so I mean, the actual game release, it probably was in early
See,
development
Duke
for a
is
while.
cutting edge this week.
He
I
is.
actually played something kind of new. How
It's
about that?
getting. It's got like a 7 out of 10 on Steam.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but you also have to remember that most of the people who are gonna review a game like this are gonna be people who played a lot.
Yeah,
of
it'll
Genshin.
appeal to a
Yes.
We are-
certain demographic, won't it? Let's
right,
be
and we're reaching
honest.
a point with game splintering that means people tend to play one type of game. A lot of people do.
Yes.
And so
yes.
as a result, they have to fit into their games stuff that will appeal to that particular market. And that means that for the rest of us, we're like, what the hell's going on? And they're thinking, okay, we've gotten to the part where you go get food, and then here comes the part where you're doing this, and here comes the
Okay,
part where you're doing that.
this is an interesting development. So on Metacritic, Tower of Fantasy has a 65 with the critics,
Okay.
but with the user score is 3.8.
Ooh,
Damn,
So
that's
let's
some
have a look
interesting things when that
why
happens.
is
that's
is the user score.
interesting.
So these are the user low risk scores now. So somebody gave it a 4 and said the collision hitbox is bad, poor game optimization,
Whatever.
ridiculous cap system that blocks progress. So it looks like it's a pay. You got to pay.
Yeah, sure. That's
go.
true about a lot of gotcha games. Like,
This
and I
one
don't see
has.
how people can be mad about. I'm sorry, I have to say something about that, Chinny. I don't get how people can be mad about that. I mean, it is a free game. It's
Yeah.
like on The Simpsons. They've given you hundreds of hours of entertainment for free. What do they possibly owe you as a loyal viewer? I feel they owe me. It's like, give me a break.
Somebody said bad story, bad animations, too much
Oh yeah.
time.
I mean, not bad animations,
No,
bad story.
so
yes.
fantastic animation. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Too much time gating, which is again coming to like
Yeah,
just buy the thing.
and maybe I haven't gotten there yet. but, I
Bad
wouldn't be surprised.
events, which I'm guessing is like sort of like
Like the
multiplayer events.
MMO
Yeah.
stuff.
So and then one of their
Right.
points and why the bad game is bad is called Tower of Bug which is a clever play on the name of the game. Well done, them.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It sounds like a lot of people are sort of saying that it's got a lot of bugs in it. Is if I just
Bit broken.
if I cut the fat and all the hate and all the sort of like stupid shit out of these negative reviews, it sounds like
Yeah.
there's a lot of bugs. Too many bugs. I keep seeing the word bugs. So
Right,
that
and
seems
I
to
haven't
be
come
the
across
overall.
any game-breaking bugs, but as I
Yeah.
say, there is quite a bit of stuttering because there's so much going on. And my concern, I wouldn't be surprised to learn, and I would be probably going back to this, but who knows how long. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that all the different systems that they're throwing at you are like in a Skyrim, Bethesda game. They are going to probably create some bugs from here and there.
I think these Terror Fantasy and these types of games fall into the category for me of games I don't care about that make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Sure.
you know, in 6 months' time they'll fix all these bugs. It'll probably make
Yeah.
fucking bajillion, dollars all the time. And
Hey, No Man's Sky did,
yeah, so
and they
you-
just had a massive update, but I haven't had a chance to play that yet.
But
either.
you said it. You
Many
said it.
games.
You said it yourself. Where there's just gaming is just like so many people play their own shit. There's when we started the show, the gaming was just a lot smaller, and this just
Yeah.
falls into just an area of video games that I just don't touch anymore,
Yep.
or at all, never,
right.
ever,
Agreed.
never, ever.
All right, so that's Tower of Fantasy.
There you go. I think I was
Next.
just going to say what's quite interesting looking at the Steam page. There
You can
has
tell when
been an
Stu's reading
update.
because he goes quiet, doesn't he?
I know, yeah. There has been an update already, so they are supporting it. So that's a good sign, guess.
Okay.
What's also interesting is one of the reviews says it uses up almost 16 gigabytes of RAM. What is
Thank
it
God
doing?
I got
in
my
the-
RAM sorted then.
What is it doing in the background? It's probably fucking doing some weird Chinese
Data
stuff to
mining.
your computer.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's some weird
Stu,
Chinese shit, man. Just saying.
Stu, do you want to talk
Yes,
about?
I'm going to talk about Scorn first. Shall I get that out of the
Scorn?
way?
Yeah, get
Should I
Scorn.
start playing more music
Let's
from
get
Scorn, like I
Scorn
did last
because-
week? That was fun.
No.
Because this is the weird first-person puzzle game.
Is this available on Game
We've
Pass?
set in hell.
Is this on
It
Game
is.
Pass?
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
available. It
Okay.
is on Game Pass.
Right,
It's an exclusive to Game Pass, I think. Have a
right.
feeling.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I
On
believe you.
console,
I don't know
think
why
it's
you
out
say
on
it like I
PS5.
doubt you. I believe.
I don't know whether it's true or not. I just said it. I'm doing all right. I'm up to level 3, so I have
Okay.
actually made some progress since I last played this game. But
Yeah.
boy, oh the fucking boy, this game is weird as shit. I mean,
Is it hard?
it doesn't get any less. Not really.
Is it scary?
It's not really. It's more just
Creepy.
no. Well, not even that. It's more. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just more like
Sexy.
Want to make me feel sick. It's
Alright.
more
Yeah,
that
it's
horror
under your
that's more.
skin, man.
Yeah, it's more makes you feel a bit sick kind of horror.
Yeah.
Right,
What are you
right.
becoming?
Makes you
man? You're
want to
becoming one
vomit
of the
because
corpse
it's
machines.
gross. Like
Vomit.
using a like I said, a ripped off arm to solve.
Have you
the
been watching?
puzzles.
Have you watched Dalma on Netflix?
Not yet. We are going to, but we
I
haven't
think,
seen it yet.
Put it this way, I think he would like this game.
He probably would.
Speaking
Probably
of things
would.
on Netflix that'll make you sick, we watched Hassan Minaj's new comedy special, which is fantastic. But there is one moment, and anybody who's seen it will know what I'm talking about, that I almost threw up, like literally almost threw up. So gross, but it was also funny. So whatever.
But yeah,
Um,
it's that
This is
kind
why
of
the show takes forever because like Stu reads about a game, we finished up talking about it, then he wants to talk about it more because he's just read something, and then Duke will just reference some show.
You are
I'm
the
not-
one who
I'm
started
not-
diving
I'm
into
not
Metacritic
anything.
reviews,
Don't you
Chinny.
wanna
Don't be
play today?
throwing shade at everyone else.
Mine-
and then
Mine
you
was
say
related
shit
to
yourself.
somebody that likes body parts, okay, not some random comedian
That's
that said
okay.
something
Yeah,
weird.
exactly. Anyway, I like Chinny's reference better. I'll just say that. But here's the thing, right? So yeah, I finished first level eventually. That took a little bit more time than the second level.
So
Second
is
level
it
was
a
quite
puzzle? Is
quick.
it just puzzles then?
No, there's some combat, right? But the
What
first, the
is
second
this
level,
game?
you get. I told you last week about the weird flesh bone gun I got.
No,
Right.
yeah, I suppose so.
So I got the flesh bone gun, and it just shoots out like a arm thing.
Right.
So it's not like it doesn't shoot projectiles. It just shoots out this metal arm a certain distance.
Metal arms like Jax in Mortal Kombat.
So you see this thing that's puffing around, right? You have to pick
Yeah.
up these things and put them in a socket, but to get to them, you have to unlock another thing, right? But when you unlock this other thing, these enemies appear, and you got to fucking kill them, right?
with the metal
So-
arm.
With the metal arm, but it only shoots a certain distance, and you've got to be just at the right angle. And if you don't, you get
Sounds
hit
annoying
twice,
as
you
hell.
die. So you
Ugh.
die off 2 hits.
Eesh, that
Right,
sounds
so
ridiculous.
it's tough.
I'm done.
But once I got the hang of it, it wasn't too bad. And realised if I'd opened both of these things at the same time, I only to get past them once. So that's what I did, and then I got
See,
out
I
of this.
wouldn't last 20 minutes in this game because Stu looks at it and goes, "This is unlike any other game I've ever played," which is fair. But I look at it and go, "Why don't I have a gun? Fuck this game."
Yeah, there's
in
no
this
gun.
game. In basically this game, for people that have trouble visualizing it, is you putting your fingers and hands into very dodgy holes.
Sockets and orifices.
Yeah, that's basically
kind of it.
And, it's
And you like
gross.
this weird zombie thing, so you
Yeah.
like half flesh, half bone. And...
Armar in the chat says, "Hello, Shaggers. Have a great show." Hello.
Hello, Armor.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yes.
Let's just say that. But it does look good in a really sort of grim kind of way.
Imagine if you had a son and he made this game. Would you be concerned?
Yes,
Yes.
I would be.
See, I
concerned.
wouldn't, and here's why. The people who made this game, obviously the impulses are very dark and gruesome and the graphics are horrifying and stuff, but to make a whole game like this, you can't just be in love with the aesthetics of it. Like, there's a lot
No,
of
the
people who
puzzles are quite
watch-
good.
Yeah.
Right,
The
that's what I'm
puzzles have
saying.
been
Like, I
pretty
think
cool.
that's evidence that someone's actually got their head screwed on right because H.R. Giger was sick and twisted, but he wasn't messed up. Like, I wouldn't be worried if my kid made art like this as long as they saw it through. If somebody starts a million drawings that have this kind of imagery in it, but then they never finish them, that's when I start to get really worried.
It's
Yeah.
about 5 hours long as well, so it doesn't outstay its welcome.
No.
I think there's only 5 acts, and I'm on
It
act
outstays
3
my
now,
welcome.
so it's so it's not going to take me long, I don't think. But each obviously level's slightly longer than the last one, so you
Yeah.
know you've got more shit to do. But
Okay.
I am kind of enjoying it. It's in a really grim kind of way.
This game's gross.
Oh yeah, and apparently it gets worse. I haven't
Kenny
seen
can't
anything.
handle this game.
You know, when you have to wheel the dude around and then squish him to get his arm, that was
Ugh.
fucking weird.
There's a bloody umbilical cord sticking out of you now.
Oh yeah,
Literally
you
a
have to pull that
bloody
shit out.
umbilical cord.
Yeah, you have to pull that shit out.
Oh no.
It's very like the Matrix. You know when he stick that thing under his skin in his belly button.
This game
It's
is
that kind of
This
horror,
game is
that,
gross.
that
very
creepy
gross.
like.
You are
oh.
insane for enjoying this.
This is 100 times creepier than the Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's a
Gross.
definite interesting game.
It's not for everybody, and
It
definitely
is
for
not. This
children.
is not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
I want to play it.
No, it's
shall
Uh,
we say.
Cup of entrails, you mean?
It's not everyone's cup of
Fraser
tea because
Fraser Moore's
really
in the
gross.
chat. He says, "I have a question for Duke. I have decided
Oh
to
God!
dive.
I'm trying to grade papers here. Fuck off, people. Go ahead. What's your question?
I have decided to dive back into Skyrim. Should I play vanilla or should I play with some mods?"
I would say use some quality of life mods. Sky UI and I Need are two of my favorites. But you know, play with that for a little while. Just do a few quality of life things so that you know it's not so frustrating. And then once you get bored, you know, do some regular vanilla Skyrim stuff. Once you get the quality of life stuff on, and then you can add mods later on. I mean, one of my favorites is a ridiculous mod where it makes the heads bigger.
What about
Yeah,
the
it
mod
just
that
looks
turns
cool.
the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine?
yeah,
well,
Thomas
that got
Tank.
taken off because that's copyrighted material.
Oh,
But I'm sure there are mods that turn the
Oh,
dragons
man,
into other
that
things.
crops up in every game, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and my favorite along those lines was the one that turned the mud crabs into
Oh yeah, the Futurama.
Zoidberg from Futurama.
Zoidberg,
Whoop,
yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop
But
woo!
Copyright
Um,
infringement.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's the question.
Oh,
okay,
you're talking about
thanks.
this. Stu.
yeah, Scorn. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm kind of enjoying it. There you go. That's
Okay, that's that.
Scorn.
done.
It's a weird old game. Stuart likes it lots.
I'm going to talk about a game called. I've been playing more Monster Train. And
Another
I
game
have
Fraser
not.
likes. He loves that game.
I love Monster Train.
yeah.
Monster Train is one of those games where you think I'm just gonna have a quick game, and then it's 2 hours have gone, and you're like, oh
Wow.
no, why?
That's a sign of a good game, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. What I realised though was like I haven't actually finished a run, so I've not in Monster Train. I've never
You don't know
got
what
to
it's
the
like
end.
to actually win.
I've never got to the end. I've never won. So
That's crazy. By the way,
was-
I'm not going to cut you off, but remind me when you're done, Shinny, to tell you a story about a student we're talking about.
I'm
Fortnite
gonna let
once.
you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
didn't matter, did it? Stu still interrupted.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
I did a joke. It was a joke.
I can only control myself.
I've just got my tea. So Monster Train. So I realised that I hadn't done a run of Monster Train, so I was like, right, I'm gonna try and finish a run of it. And oh my god, I got so fucking close so many times, and I still haven't finished a run. But I tell you what, the variety in this game, like you start with like, you know, this card and this emblem to which adds rage or does this or does that in this game is unbelievable. You never come across the same thing twice. Every run you're like, oh, I've never had this before. This is new. It's a great game. I love Monster Train, and I'm determined to get a run where I win. So that's everything about Monster Train. That's me about Monster Train. Thank you.
It's kind of cool. I'm just waiting for that Potionomics or whatever the hell it was called. That looked cool.
That looked good.
Potionomics.
Yeah, that's all right.
Can I just say?
No, I said I was going to say something when Ginny got done.
Okay, you did.
So
Sorry.
I had a student who said, because I always ask my students, hey, it's Friday, what are y'all doing this weekend? And one student said, I'm going to be playing a lot of Fortnite. And I was like, oh, okay. Do you play a lot? You clearly play a lot of it. When was the last time you got it's not called a chicken dinner, is it? That's PUBG, right? And he's like, oh, no, it's called like a Victory Royale or whatever.
Yeah, they can use that.
Anyway, so he goes, yeah, well, I got 4 of them last night. I was like, no, you didn't. He's like, yeah. I was like, what? Like, he plays it serious. I'm like, are you trying to become like a pro? He's like, oh, I'd love to, yeah. I'm like, damn, that's intense. More power to you. And then I said, is the game fun for you? And he went, and I was like, that's a no.
You gotta run for fun.
You can enjoy it without having fun, but I like playing games for fun. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
There you go. I was just going to say, Hardly Dan described Scorn the best. I can think what I was talking about then. He says it's moist. I think that's a really good description of Scorn.
That's what you want a video game to be, is moist. Yeah.
It's moist. I think that perfectly describes Scorn.
It is moist.
It's definitely moist. Right, shall we talk about the other game we played together, or shall we go back to Duke?
No, I think y'all should talk about this other game so I can get some papers graded, because I didn't have a chance to play this game. Namely, I didn't make time to play it. I was too busy playing weird-ass Chinese MMO games.
So this week on Game Pass, A Plague's Tale Requiem came out, which is a pretty big deal, really. You know, it was a big first game. You know, it's kind of got a bit more traction after its release, really.
Yeah.
It didn't come with much of a fanfare, and then...
It was kind of like an underrated sleeper hit,
Yeah,
wasn't
it was a little bit like Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, because that was another game that sort of came out and nobody really paid much attention, but gradually got more and more players.
It's a good game.
So Requiem has now hit the Game Pass service, and this is the first word I would use to describe this game. Grim.
It is grim, but the first one was grim.
Yeah, but this is even more grim.
The first
and
one was
bleak.
grim. The first one was pretty grim.
I don't know whether it was as bad as this straight away, though. Fucking hell, that first level. I mean...
Your mum dies? Or
Well, there is that.
So that's
guess.
pretty
But
grim.
I think this is more... It is, but I feel like this is more in-your-face brutal.
Well,
than the
look, you
first game.
fall into a pit of dead bodies, aren't you, pretty quickly in this game?
Well, there's a bit where the guy's chasing someone in front of you and then just slams in the head with an axe with barely a flinch. And I was like, fucking hell, that was
To be
brutal.
fair, you also fall into a pile of corpses at the
And you
start
do fall into a pile
Kingdoms
of
of
corpses.
Amalur: The Reckoning. So.
Yeah. But in the first game, somebody gets eaten by a bunch of rats like very quickly. So it's all
do.
grim.
It's fucking bleak.
It's bleak.
But I feel like, right, I'm getting to the point where I feel like these two kids need a break.
Yeah.
Someone needs to be nice to them.
Because I think they said this is set 6 months after the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
they've had a little bit of respite, and then it all goes to
Little bit.
shit again.
Yeah. So I'll say a
sorry.
few things about A Plague's Tale. The original, I credited it for it was almost like as good as like The Last of Us or something. It was up there of like,
Yeah, it's
hey, this is
decent.
decent storytelling, decent acting, decent animation, decent graphics, decent music. I was like, man, why does this game not get more love? Obviously the sequel has been getting a lot more love, and it's for me, what I'm waiting for, Stu, and you'll probably step in
Yep.
here and say, "Oh well, da da da." But for me, I haven't got to a point yet. I'm still on the second chapter where it's really sort of divided itself from the original, like the first one, because it's more of the first game, but it hasn't really done anything that's like
Kind of doesn't.
no.
I'm about 4. I mean, I think I'm on chapter 4 or 5. So I'm
You said
a
you was
bit
on
further
5
on.
earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah, I'm a bit further on than you,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether it does.
So the
I
only
thi-
thing that I noticed
There's
that
a lot of fetch quests. Let's
well, I
say
mean that was the first game, but like
yeah,
the only thing that I noticed that because I'm waiting for this game to go like it does this, and you're like, oh, that wasn't in the first game. Is the only thing was that the rats can climb now, so
Yeah.
like they can
Yeah.
climb up and stuff, which is
and there is a lot
fine.
of rats.
There's a lot of
Fucking hell.
there's a bloody lot of rats. What's frustrating to me though is that like they've stripped away all the powers from you, and at one point, Alicia even says like, "Oh, I've forgotten how to do all this alchemist shit." Do you remember that?
Yeah,
She says like, "Oh, you got to mix it with this." She's like, "Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot." I was like, "It was only 6 months ago. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
you been doing?" So you've got to like learn how to mix everything again, which is a bit
it
disappointing.
doesn't. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't take long for you to get your powers back and get all the extra stuff you need to do. So it doesn't take a crazy long amount of time.
No, I know, and they've got to progress the game. But
Yeah.
is there a reason why the little boy can't fucking control
Yes.
rats?
Because because if you remember rightly, the way the story works is this little lad has this hereditary disease thing, which
Yes.
includes all these rat control shit.
He loves
But
controlling
as it
them.
progresses, he eventually is gonna die from it when it gets to different stages of the disease.
Right.
So it has to come out in him to control the rats. But when it comes out in him, it actually makes him really ill.
Right. Wasn't
So
there a
that's
cure
kinda
for it though
what's
in the
happening.
first one? There was some sort of cure for it, and he was like,
Yeah. So
Badass.
that's why he's been all right for 6 months, you see, because this like alchemist dude created this.
no, but like,
potion.
wasn't there a
it-
thing where he was okay and he could control the rats?
Yeah.
In the first one.
But he had to have this special potion thing, I think, or some special shit had to go down. I can't
Yeah.
remember. It's a while since
It's
I played
you know
it.
what it's called? It's called video game bollocks.
Video
which is,
game
which is
logic.
not a bad thing. It's just video game bollocks.
But
It's like when you see like a red when people leave like red canisters everywhere. That's video game bollocks. That's just.
but
what
when
it
he
is.
gets right, so in this game he's become ill again, and that's
Yes.
obviously the impetus for the
and
story.
that's bringing back the rats and fucking all the village
yeah,
up that you.
yeah. So all the shit's going down again.
Yeah.
But he does an all right job. The one thing I still think the combat isn't great.
Well, it's a stealth game, isn't it?
It is, but and you only got to this yet. But there's some sections later on where you're in direct combat with people.
Yeah,
So
and,
you
and there
can't
was in the
stealth.
first game. But what I'll say, I'm hoping it's going to be the same. What I'll say about the first one was, it just as you started to get bored of something, it just sort of swaps it and goes right now we're doing a different level now where you do something
Yeah,
else.
they're not long sections, right? But they can be a bit frustrating because it's slow to aim and shoot.
Well, you could
and they
upgrade
send-
that, can't you?
Yeah, but I haven't got enough shit to upgrade it
You
yet.
fucking get good.
I have upgraded some stuff, but I haven't got enough stuff. But yeah, there's multiple enemies, and they're in really close proximity.
Yes,
And I had to figure out a strategy, so I did die a few times.
that's called
on that
playing
section.
a video game, Stu.
I
That's
know,
what
yeah.
it is. There
But I
was a
did
moment.
it.
There was a moment for me. I'm teasing you, but you're correct. There was a moment for me where these two guys, one's like throwing something and one's walking towards you, and like, yeah, you know, like I died like twice before I sort of figured out a way.
Yeah,
And the really the way to do it was like do it better. Like that's the only way I
yeah,
did it.
yeah. yeah.
Was do it slightly better.
I figured out a strategy, and it worked. So I was like,
Darren's
fine.
Darren Sim in the chat says it looks a bit more open world. It actually isn't. It does such a good
No,
job.
it isn't at all.
It's
No,
completely
it's very
linear.
linear.
But it
Yeah,
does
it's very
this
linear.
gameplay does kind of look like it's open world, but it
I'll tell you what it
Yeah.
reminds me of. It reminds me of Alan Wake. It gives
Yeah.
the illusion that you're going to enter an open area, but it's not.
no, it's always pretty linear. And the first
Yeah.
one was very like this
Yeah.
as well.
But he does a really clever job of making you think it's going to be open when it isn't.
This is I have to
Looks
say like
great,
this
by the way.
this is brilliant. I love the first one, Plague's Tale. And if okay, I am looking for, and by the sounds of it, you haven't got to anything yet. I am looking for what this is going to be doing differently.
Yeah.
And by the sounds of it, it still hasn't done anything vastly differently. If
No.
it still is just more of the first one, I feel like that's very good but slightly disappointing. But to me, that's still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if they just did it again, that would be a little disappointing, but still, I'd be pleased.
Is there something specific you would want to see other than just more of what you had? In the
Like
first
more rat powers, because the coolest thing about
That
this
could
game,
come. That may
yeah,
come.
the coolest thing about this game is that like the rats, you loved this kind of scenario, Duke, where you feel so underpowered, and then
Yeah.
like with a turn of a thing, you are
Right.
like overpowered, right? So this
Yeah,
worked.
oh, yeah.
This, the first game, so it was like the whole build up was the rats are a problem, they're a bastard,
Yeah.
they're always in the way, and then there's a switch in the game where you're like, I can control the rats, they can just eat people now, and it's brilliant. And I suppose what I'm looking for and what the trailer promised was like, there's just loads of fucking rats now. There's bloody loads of them, and
There fucking is hundreds.
there is a cutscene where you're just running away from a sea of rats.
Yeah.
But I suppose what I'm looking for is like more interesting things that they can do with those powers is what I'm
Right.
going for. And it sounds like, I mean, it might be a slow build again because they're not afraid of building up to gameplay and
Taking
like
the
first
time.
one.
They
Yeah.
take the time with these
And
games.
it's a game. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's well paced. Story's pretty easy to follow. Like with this one, it's like the town's fucked. You're bringing illness into the town. Find some people. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah. So
And these people fucking hate your guts. They
they
just want to
bloody
kill
hate
you.
you. They bloody hate you.
Everybody wants to kill you.
Yeah, yeah. I think the bare minimum is to do the same again, and that would be absolutely fine. I would be pleased with that. I would give it, like a 4 out of 5. But for me, if it needs to be a 5 out of 5, it needs to give me something that the first one didn't.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, and so far I haven't seen any.
I
clues
think
of
what's
that.
interesting, this is a whole playthrough of the game, and it's 11 hours long.
Yeah,
And let's be honest, people who play these on YouTube usually play them a lot quicker than the average person.
yeah, they
So
fly through 'em, don't they? Yeah.
They fly through 'em, so I'm
See, it's
reckoning this is
interesting-
going to be a pretty big game.
With regard to the sequel conundrum, the sophomore paradox is true about artists making music and stuff too. Like, I'm the type of person who, like, when I like, when the Chemical Brothers came out with their second album, I was like, I just want more of what was on the first. You know what I mean? When a video game comes out, like, I want, especially with video games, like when a new Elder Scrolls game comes out, like, I want to go back to that world. And I mean, I suppose I want some new stuff too, but mostly I
Yeah,
just
but
want more
didn't you
story missions.
didn't you criticize Daft Punk for doing the same thing?
I criticized Daft Punk for going in very different directions.
That's why I
Because
like
they-
No, but like when Get Lucky came out, you said, "Oh, it's more disco. They've done disco before."
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that was my complaint.
that's
with
what-
that,
that's
but no,
French
but it's not.
house
But it's
though,
not
isn't
like
it?
hard hitting drum disco. Like that's what I fell in love with in Discovery and Homework was this like, and then they were like, "You up all night to get high."
I
It
think
must
wasn't the
admit,
fact
I
that it was
didn't
the
enjoy
same
that
thing
album
over
as
and over
much
again.
as
It was the
the
thing.
others,
It was
to
the
be
thing that I don't like.
let's not talk about Daft Punk. Well, I suppose because
Yeah, don't get off track.
no one gives a shit about them. They've split up, right? So, what I suppose back to the point though is, I feel like if you're making a sequel to a game that's very very good, to do it again is the minimum, right? To do it again, like
Yeah.
The Last of Us Part 2 is not doing it again. They stepped it up in every fucking
Yeah,
way.
they did.
Portal
And they had a
2.
very particular decision about the storytelling that they were doing in
But
terms of.
I'm
putting
not
you
even
in
talking about the
shoes of
storytelling
person
though.
who-
Like the combat, the way she animates,
Everything,
the way you can crawl under the cars, the way you upgrade the everything was absolutely like 2.0. And when whenever like Red Dead 2 or Portal 2 or it's always like it's that and then more of like stuff that you didn't even see coming.
See, I actually think Red Dead 2 is a counterexample of that because I found the story much less interesting than
Again,
Yeah, I
I'm
did.
not
Totally agree.
talking about story. I'm talking about like
Yeah, okay,
the,
fair
Well, the
enough. I got
advancing
you, I got you.
technology
the
was
advancing
enormous.
technology, the
Yeah. Oh no, no doubt. And
the-
the variety
yeah.
of things you can do. And
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I-
like,
I
and but
agree.
also
Yeah, yeah,
like
fair
their
Side quests
in
were
Red
better.
Dead 2, like they were sort of figuring it out for GTA 4, but they've really figured out like stranger missions and like random
Yes.
encounters and stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
Where,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
A Plague's Tale 2, I would want them to be like, right, we did that, but here's a bunch of shit that we couldn't do
Yeah, or
because
random
we didn't,
encounter or
like, you know, that, but like here's a bunch of powers that were left on the floor that we didn't put on, or you know, and I just haven't seen any of that.
I hope
shit.
that's true. I really do, because I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of it that way. But I really hope you're right, because
But
that would
look-
make it way more interesting.
I want to emphasize that this is a great game, and it's probably contender of like game of the year, and I've not even
It's
played
slick.
it for like
It's slick at the
3
moment.
hours, right? So it's for me, I love it. I love the first one. I think it's brilliant. I just expected like, okay, like what else
I
have you
feel like
got?
one thing I will say, I feel like has improved massively. The AI doesn't feel as scripted.
That's true.
the
Yeah,
AI
they
seems
they
to-
wander around and they look a little bit more slicker than they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And he does this weird thing as well, because there's a section you may not have got to. I don't know whether you're at it yet.
I tell you where I'm at. Where am I at? I don't know.
You're in. I'll describe it and see if you recognise it. You're in a compound and there's a lot of rats. I mean, like a lot, like hundreds and thousands of them.
Are you with
everywhere.
Luca, like the lad?
No, you're on your Todd.
I might not have got there then.
So you're on your own. But
I don't think
found
I've been on
that
my own with a bunch of rats.
no, I found that so difficult because there was a point where what it seems to be doing this game, which the first one definitely didn't do, if you die, it takes you back to your checkpoint, but the guards are wherever they were when you died. So it's kind of doing a little bit of a Dark Souls kind of thing. So rather than it resetting the AI to where it was, it doesn't. So they're still patrolling in the same places that you died at. Does that kind of make sense?
Sort of. I didn't come across that though, because I died and
No,
they were
well, you-
definitely back in the
No,
original
well,
place.
these bloody arms, which was slightly frustrating.
Hmm.
But I got there, but it took me a few goes because where it had done the save point, there was a guard right near to me, and every time I respawned, there was still.
Isn't that just an
obviously-
auto save issue? Not really.
I don't think so. No, because he was in a different place,
Hmm.
but he was kind of still near enough that I almost got insta death each time. So there are some small issues, but I got round it eventually by working out again, strategizing and working out a way of doing it.
Hmm.
But I didn't mind it, but I thought it was a little bit harsh in places with that. But
I
it
think
was,
what this
it wasn't
game needs is
problem.
a loser mode like the Long Dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there needs a loser mode for me.
Uh,
But I'm a fair way in, and what I think I quite like about it, even though I'm struggling at points, I figure out how to overcome it, and that's always good.
Yeah. It's not
You
a
know what I
game
mean?
where you fly through it. There are hard
No.
parts in this game.
I
Definitely.
figure out a strategy. I'm like, I know what I need to do,
Wow.
and then I do it. I'm like, I'm through that bit now, and it's the checkpoints are quite generous as well.
I'll
so the
just let you know,
sections
there was a
aren't overly long.
cut in this video, just so he doesn't do this in 11 hours. He just doesn't include the time he dies.
All right, okay.
I just noticed. Okay, I think that's everything about Plague Tale Requiem,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Sure.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Very good. I'm going to definitely continue playing it, and I would definitely recommend people if you like a linear story third-person game. It's like absolutely brilliant, and we don't really get many of these anymore, so I love it.
And I love the fact Microsoft have supported this and what have you.
It's great.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's enough of that shit. Go on, Stu. What you got? What else? Oh no, you've got nothing else.
That's it. I'm done.
You
I'm
bloody
done. So is anything else off
Whoa.
Duke?
Yes,
on.
I got one more.
Duke.
Game Pass PC has a game that you do not have access with your console playing asses.
I've got Game Pass PC as
So
well.
do I.
Well, what the fuck? Why aren't y'all playing this then?
I don't
You
know.
didn't
You
tell me
haven't told
to.
us what it is.
Oh yeah. Well,
Next
you can
week.
play it for next week if you want. I'm gonna keep
No.
playing it. I think.
No.
None of you already played it.
What's the problem? Why does it matter if I'm
I
already
took.
playing it?
I'll tell you why I won't play it because I've just seen a video of it.
No, I'm gonna fucking play that. Hey, we should all play Amnesia for next week.
No.
No, I'm not playing Amnesia. Absolutely not. Forget it. Anyway,
Amnesia,
we'll
man.
talk
What's
about
the
that
matter
later. Here, let me talk about Coral Island.
We'll
All right,
see.
people, have you ever played Stardew Valley and thought to yourself, man, I wish this was an isometric 3D top-down
Fucking hell.
game?
How many games want to be Stardew Valley?
All of them.
It's clear that, well, that's the reason they're all coming out now, is because when Stardew Valley hit, everyone was like, oh my God. And a bunch of developers said, all right, look, guys, here's what we're going to do. You ready? Here's the thing. We're going to
Hey,
make a
what
game.
you gonna do? What you gonna
We're
do?
going to make a game. It's going to be this. Okay, we're going to make a game like that? No. You're not listening to me. It's going to be this. It's just this. Well, we can't just copy and paste it. Yeah, we can. We got to make it a little different. All right, fine. Do it isometric third person from above. but it's the same game, right? Now, people, I'm joking. It's not actually the same game because in Stardew Valley, you get left a house and you have to renovate it and make it your own. In this game, you're given a house and you have to renovate it and make it your own.
Oh, it is different, isn't it?
Completely different, right?
Oh, it's
In
totally
Stardew
different.
Valley, right? In Stardew Valley, I mean, it's a lot like Stummy.
It's exactly like Stummies.
And the twist is?
It's a much bigger pill.
It is a bigger community in this game. You have, in Stardew Valley, you go into this town and you form relationships with people and you get to know them and you talk with them and you give them gifts in order to increase your friendship with them. In this game, you meet people and you talk to them and you give them gifts in order to increase your relationship.
Really?
There's orgies.
It's so stunning. Not only that, but like in Stardew Valley, there's this cave that you explore, and every 5 levels there's an elevator, and you crack rocks, and then once in a while, when you crack a rock, there's a hole in the ground. You dive into the hole, and you're down 1 more level. In this game, you go into the mines and you crack rocks, and occasionally there's a hole in the ground, and you jump through the hole to go down a level, and every 5 levels there's an elevator.
Nice.
It's like literally copying and pasting in many ways. Now, here's the big difference, though. You ready? In Stardew Valley, there's this evil corporation that's kind of like Walmart that's putting your local, small business out of business. And there's a community center that you rebuild. In this game, there's an evil oil company that's trying to take over the island, and you had to pay a lot of money to clean up an oil spill recently. So everyone hates the oil company for that reason.
Stu, it's like if Aldi built Stardew Valley.
It is. That's what it looks like.
And BP built this game. So anyway, look, it's given me what I want, which is more Stardew Valley.
And is it good?
It's just shocking how identical it is. Like how
I tell you what, Duke. Why? Because people, I didn't particularly like Stardew Valley, but the people that love Stardew Valley, why aren't they playing this? Like, why aren't they loving this?
Well, some of them are. I mean, it's got a lot of love on Steam right
But what
now.
does this not do?
Yeah. Oh, why is this different?
Here's the
to
thing. This is what I
Stardew
wrote
Valley?
down.
Why is this different?
This is what I wrote down. This game is not charming and it doesn't have a soul. Stardew Valley was a labor of love from one guy, and he poured all of himself into it, and it shows in every part of the game.
How?
The animations are cute. We have these little magic monsters, the Jujumos. You have little celebrations where the town all gets together and they're like singing and dancing. It's just charming as hell. This game is not charming. This game feels... It's a clone. They copied and pasted, but you can't copy and paste.
Forced.
It is forced.
But
It's a committee that said, okay, you're in charge of the mines, you're in charge of the shopping, you're in charge of the relationships, and you take apart a teddy bear that you loved in your childhood, and you duplicate every piece of that teddy bear and you put it back together. You're not going to get the same teddy bear you had in your childhood.
What I don't understand is this, dude, right? You play a fucking 1,000,001 of these clones of other games.
Yes.
Well, then I don't understand why you just don't play the game you like. Why do you keep trying to find another game like it? That's never going to be as good. Makes no sense to me.
I hear you. That's why I play a lot of Skyrim, and I did play Stardew Valley all the way through twice.
Yeah, but why keep trying to find another
Maybe he does it because he needs to talk about games on the show.
Yes,
well, there
that's
is
part
that,
of it. I want to
guess.
have something new to talk about, kind of new. And the other thing is that, like some of the games are, offering a few things here and there that are not, that are a little different. So in this game, the crafting is a little different. There are different things to make, and there's not much that's different that I've found yet. But there is a little bit of a story. Like, so instance, in this game, you just like in Stardew Valley, you have this weird dream, and it leads you to a tree, and you commune with the tree or whatever. And so it's starting to open up, and then you go to that tree again in the morning, and like, there's this weird spirit there. And I'm kind of curious to see what the weird spirit is all about. And in the meantime, here's the point, though. The gameplay loop, as always, is fun. And, I mean, that's one thing they did get right with this in Stardew Valley. And so I'm having a good time, like clearing the land and growing crops and making money and getting better tools and, that whole thing. So, meanwhile, it's a little quicker to move around in this game. The fishing mini game is better in this. There's enough small things that are different so that I'm enjoying my time with this. But, in the meantime, I'm just mostly curious. Like, I wasn't going to ever buy this, but it showed up on Game Pass. And I was like, okay, I had that on my wish list on Steam, and, I'll see what it's like.
I don't know. I just don't get your obsession with trying to find a replacement for something
Well, I
that
don't
you
get your
like.
obsession with playing weird and shit games that are obviously
Yeah, well, they're always
weird and
different.
shit. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
they
they're
are.
always
And I,
different.
hey, look,
Okay,
you want
okay,
something that's always
stop
no, wait.
it.
Stu wants something that's always different. I want something that's always the same.
Yes, I mean, I
We're
can
creatures
almost
of
see.
opposite habits.
I can almost see the Disney thing. I kind of get that.
Ugh, that game
You know, the
sucked.
Disney whatever the hell.
It does look like a Disney animation. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
he's
this
talking about
is-
Dreamlight Valley, though.
Yeah, because that's like another clone of Stardew Valley, but at
This
least
looks
it's
like a Disney cartoon, though. This one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
kinda.
understand the differences there and why people would play that rather than Stardew Valley because it's the same mechanics, but it's all set in Disneyland.
Well, again, Stu. Here's the thing, though. As I said before, people these days often tend to play one kind of game, and so somebody who's played Stardew Valley like 4 times through is going to want something that's kind of similar but not too different. And so, the game developer in a way is very smart because they're giving people exactly the same thing that they had in this other thing.
but I don't get it.
And the other thing that's true about this game is that when you go to the city hall in this game, it's got a big rainbow flag flying out front. Like the LGBTQ representation, which Jacinta mentioned last week in an email, is on full display here. And so that's something that's going to draw people to it as well, I think.
I guess. I'll take your word for it.
Okay. That's
So that's the games we've been playing this week.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it's
there's
not.
something
Chinny's
else?
got another one.
Now
Chinny's got
what?
another.
I very, very quickly. This is how you talk about a game very quickly. I am still playing Power Wash Simulator.
Nice.
I sort of stopped playing it because I felt like my life was drifting away from me. And then I kept on playing it again, and I'm sort of playing it unashamedly. Playing it now. I've come to terms with it that I just like
There's
it.
nothing new to talk about. I'm just kidding. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, there's what am I on now? I've done like this massive tree house. Took forever.
It's relaxing though, isn't it? It's just a switch your
Why?
brain off game.
Why am I doing it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
I get it. I do. I totally
That's
get
true
it.
about Coral Island too. I mean, mostly
Yeah.
it's just to switch your game off, just
Yeah.
switch your brain off game.
so I'm still playing it.
And there are lots of simulators like I mean, how is this different from Lawnmower Simulator? To be honest,
It isn't.
It's
okay. So
it's
all I'm
really
saying is a lot of us like variations on a theme with our
it's
games. even if
really
it's not anything
satisfying though.
very
This
different.
one, it's really.
You see, I like Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Yeah.
They're all they're all the same.
I just
Let's
love
be
how
honest.
All I'm
Just
saying
love
is you
how-
said you
They're all
don't
the
get it
similar
when people play the
theme.
same kind of game over and over again. I'm just saying.
It's
we
like
all do.
Townscaper VR or Townscaper not VR. It's just kind of cool just to build shit when don't have to think about it.
But
Horses
have you
for
seen how
course, brain off.
dirty some of these things are?
I know there is
Oh,
that
so
satisfaction
dirty.
with this game. I'll be honest, right? And I do agree with you. But it's only like when you get an overgrown lawn that you need to sort out
Nah, it's not the same.
with weeds. You got to go and get rid of all them weeds, man. But there's no time limit on this. That's one thing with Lawnmower. You've got a time limit.
Yeah,
if you wanna
Lawnmower
get the best
Simulator is
score.
more of a game, whereas this is like
Yeah.
just get in and clean it. No one cares.
No one cares how it takes you 5 days.
Yeah,
They don't give a shit as long as the job's done in the
as
end.
long as it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay, time for some news.
that was
Juki's on the
fast.
news this week, I believe.
Oh
This will be
yeah,
interesting.
people! I'm going to take us through this.
Putting news first.
All right, here comes some news. Everybody ready? You strapped in, people?
I am
News
strapped in.
time.
Let's do
Okay,
this.
I'm not stalling. I'm ready to read. All right. So last week we talked to you about the Bayonetta voice actor and
yeah.
how she made a video talking about how she was offered $4,000 for her Bayonetta voice acting, and I was on record as being outraged because that's a ridiculously small amount of money. Well, a new report says that Bayonetta voice actor Helena Taylor was actually offered $15,000 for Bayonetta 3. The report also says that this is from GameSpot.com. The report also says Helena Taylor asked for a 6-figure fee and residual payments, a claim that she denies. So we've got a serious case of she said, corporation said. Yeah, new
And you can
details
trust the
about
corp.
light.
You can trust the corporation.
Well, you can,
Exactly,
but
right.
there's other problems with her story.
Am I taking the
Hold
lead on
on,
this,
let
or
him
did you take
finish.
the lead on this too?
There's other problems in the dude. What does it say, man?
Well,
There's
I'm
other
gonna
issues.
get to that if you'll let me, but I don't want to cut you off. So.
Yeah.
According to a report from Bloomberg, Taylor was offered between $3,000 and $4,000 for at least 5 sessions of voice recording, as in $4,000 for each session, which would have made Taylor's total fee around $15,000 for Bayonetta 3. Bloomberg said it saw documentation confirming these details, and supposedly, separately, VGC, whatever that is, corroborated the pay quotes and total compensation, going on to note that this would have amounted to a, quote, significant increase, end quote, against what Taylor was paid for Bayonetta 2. Pop-up needs to go away. The Bloomberg report goes on to say that Taylor also requested a 6-figure fee, $100,000 plus, for Bayonetta 3, along with residuals on the game. Taylor denied these claims. She told VGC any suggestion that she was offered more than $4,000 is, quote, categorically untrue, end quote, adding that a claim that she could have made $15,000 on Bayonetta 3 as a base rate was, quote, an absolute lie and a complete joke. More quotes from her. Taylor urged people to boycott the game. She said, I can't even... breaking the contract. She said, I'm not bothered by that. I can't afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes? She experienced anxiety and had suicidal thoughts because of the blowback. With Taylor not involved, veteran voice actor Jennifer Hale, perhaps best known for playing Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, was hired to voice the character. Taylor said she wishes Hale nothing but the best with Bayonetta 3, but said, quote, she has no right to say she is Bayonetta.
Yeah, we mentioned all this
Hale
last week,
responded
but
to Taylor.
I've got some kind of issues.
Okay.
All right. There's a couple of them. One, I mean, this offer has been corroborated, and these are actual documents that she was offered. So she can say it's categorically untrue until the cows come home, but there's evidence to support that she was offered $4,000 per, up 3 to 4, so it's up to 20 grand, right? And I know it's still not a huge amount of money, but that is a significant amount of money for someone to do 5 sessions of voice recording.
Well, I mean,
when most
it's
people
a
have
lot
to
more
work
than 4,000, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like
But I would like to
someone's
know- I would
average
like to
yearly
know-
salary for one game. And then
Well,
she's
I
talking
would like
about she
to-
can't run a car. I think she was just being greedy at this point.
Well, I would like to know how much time is required for that kind of work, because I don't know anything about it. I would like to know.
Apparently, what I heard, it was sort of 4 to 5 hour recording sessions.
Okay, so 5-hour recording sessions, 25 hours.
25 hours work for $20,000 sounds pretty good to me.
It does sound
Just
pretty
saying.
good to me. I agree with that. Now, I would like to know also, but here's the other question. Here's the flip side of it, though. Given how much money Bayonetta 2 made,
Well,
the fact that a voice
whoa.
actor.
Let's come to
Yes?
that quick, because that apparently is an absolute crock of shit, because there is no way Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 combined could have made $450 million.
I
When
don't
they've
know
actually,
how much they made.
well, that's what I'm going to tell you. When they've crunched the numbers, the maximum amount it could have made gross profit, so this is before any tax or anything is taken out of it or costs, was about $260 million. That would be at $60 a copy,
Right.
which he didn't charge back in 2012.
Well, that's as maybe. All I know
So,
is, I mean, you know,
even the supporting they made for is pretty much bullshit.
Well, okay, here's what I'll say then, because I don't know details, and I think I started by saying I don't know details. But my point is that these games tend to make a lot of money, and well, some games make a lot of money. It seems like Bayonetta was very successful, and I know from looking at a lot of people's statements, not necessarily in the video game industry, because I haven't studied that industry, but you look at hip hop, you look at jazz, you look at the movies, a lot of the most important creative people in those industries don't get paid what they deserve based on how much the art ends up earning for a company. So these companies tend to make a lot of money on this art, and the people who are most central to that production of the art are not compensated, I think, fairly. So the other thing I would say is I would like to know comparable rates for, like, the guy who plays Nathan Drake. What's his name?
I agree. I don't disagree with
Nolan
any of that
North.
stuff. Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Nolan
totally
North.
agree with you. I don't. But I think if you're going to come out and say all that shit, you've got to be transparent.
Yeah,
You You can't come out and say all that shit supported by stuff you just made up. And
Well,
let's
that's
be honest,
fair.
Duke. Can we just also mention Bayonetta 2 only released on the Wii U, and much later they did a Switch port. And that is such a niche game for the Wii in general. And the Wii U sold like fucking shit. So
Well,
who
sure.
the hell played enough of it to make that amount of money? Nobody did.
Well, okay,
Because it
fair
wasn't
enough.
even
That was-
multi-platform.
Right, and that was a bad decision on the side of the developers, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
no. But she's claiming they made all this money when in actual fact they never did.
Well, I don't know how much money they made. So my point is that, I mean, look, in general, when there's a dispute, especially among like what was in contracts, and I know we've got two sources, corroborating pay quotes and total compensation, but a lot of times I've seen those discussions break down. I'm going to generally side with the worker who's feeling as though they got slighted by the company.
That is absolutely fine if the worker's being transparent and truthful.
Well, here's the reason why a lot of people can't be transparent, though.
Yeah, but she's not, though,
as soon as well, no, look, she may have lied, and I think it's messed up when people lie. And so if she lied, then that sucks, and that's not okay. I agree. I'm 100% with you on that. But I also recognize that a creative person, they work for what's called scale, and they have the need to, in some cases, not say, here's my business all up in front for everyone to look at, because then the next job she tries to get, it's harder to get a better pay if everyone knows how much she got paid for the last one. You know what I mean? In other words, show business requires a certain mystique when you are negotiating, so that if people don't know exactly how much you got paid last time, your agent can push for a higher rate because everyone knows that this was a great game and it sold a lot of copies. So I don't necessarily fault her for not being 100% transparent.
No, no. There's a difference between not being transparent and outright lying to make your case sound better.
I agree.
No, I don't. I'm sorry, dude. This is a point where I'm going to disagree with you completely. If you're trying to get a better deal,
it sounds like you agree.
You kind of, because you're still defending her to a point.
I'm saying
you're still defending her to a point. No, but it's never all right to lie, wherever standpoint you're coming from. If you're going to make a point of telling people to boycott a game, which could affect their sales, so in effect, it's slander. If you're saying something that is completely untrue about a company to make them look bad when it's not true, that is slander, Duke.
I think I know.
Right.
I think I know what's going on here, Duke.
What's that?
He's gone against the voice actor so he can play Bayonetta 3.
Well, that's it.
No, I don't think that's the case.
That isn't
here's what I'll say about that.
Well,
Look,
you can't slander a company because you're a bit pissed at what they've offered you.
Okay, I think that. Okay, look, she may have lied. Let's say that she lied. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say she lied. That's not okay. I agree with you that it's not okay. I've said that over and over again. I'll keep saying it. You're right. It's not okay to lie. I'm not going to say it's never okay to lie, but I'll say it's not okay to lie in this case.
It's like, let me give you an analogy. And I know you hate my analogies, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Right?
Analogies. I just hate being cut off when I'm trying to make a point.
Say, for instance, you ran a pie shop. Okay.
Yes.
And one customer, for whatever reason, didn't particularly like you that much. So he then wrote an article in the local paper saying, don't go to Duke's Pie Shop because he sells shit pies. Right? But that's not true, because you don't sell shit pies, but he doesn't particularly like you that much. Yeah. Would that be okay to slander your company?
No, it would not be okay to write that.
Well, this
review.
is not any different.
However, this is different because in this case, we're talking about a worker saying things that are untrue about an employer. And for me, that right away just makes the situation different. Now, as I was saying, I don't think it qualifies as slander. What I think is that she was pissed off about not being given a better deal, and she lied about what the original deal was. And that's not okay. But I guess I shouldn't have a but there.
Let me ask you another question.
It feels like everybody's piling onto one of two camps.
I will do you a better analogy then.
Wait a minute, let me finish making my point, please. I am notoriously opposed to the idea of everybody just lockstepping into one of two camps. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Tory. I'm a Labor. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm red state. I'm blue state. I'm a communist. I'm a fascist. I choose a third way. And I want to look at where everyone's coming from, what the history is of this kind of dispute, and try to make up my mind by looking at it from a distance as much as possible.
I don't know, right? Here's the thing I look at it, right? For instance, I'll give you another analogy. Say you run the pie shop and
back to the fucking pies.
Somebody worked for you 2 years ago, but they left to go to another job, right?
Right. Because then they were unhappy with how much you were paying.
No, because she was fine with the first amount because she didn't complain the second game, did she? So this is the first time she's
eventually they got tired of not getting paid as much as they wanted.
No, listen.
Oh, for God's sake, I'm trying to help you out here.
Let me finish. Let me fucking finish, and then you can move on.
I shouldn't interrupt you.
He's got a heart
I should
condition.
not interrupt you.
Yeah, don't fucking stress me out. Anyway.
We could just move on.
No, because I want to make a point. So you're running your pie shop quite happily, right? Someone left 2 years ago, came back to you for another job, okay?
Yes.
You went, okay, I'll pay you $15 an hour. Right? They then go, he only offered me $2 an hour in the local paper and piss all over your chips and call you a twat, and you offered them $15. Would that be okay? Because that's what happened in this case. She said they only offered 4, but it was actually 20. So what's the difference?
What kind of pies are they?
Yeah, the good pie, Duke's vegetarian pies. But that's the best analogy, and there's no difference. It's just a lesser amount of money.
Stu, when you say that's the best
And-
analogy, that's the only one you've come up with. So
And
I can't.
let's just be clear here. She was given the offer of take the job or don't take the job. It's entirely up to you. The same as you would running your pie shop.
Well, I accept. No, that's not
You
true.
can
though,
take it at
because if I ran-
$15 an hour.
Nope.
Or not. But
No,
actually, we're
because if-
offering you. I'm going to tell people you only offered me $2 an hour because I don't want them to think I'm the bad person here.
I don't want to interrupt you, so I'm going to raise my hand to speak.
Okay, go.
Okay, may I? If I ran a pie shop, I would. First of all, it would probably be a cooperative, so that we would all figure out pay based on like what's good for the entire group of people working there. And if it wasn't a cooperative, if I was just the boss, I would certainly have my workers be in a union, and there would be representation as collective bargaining. So it probably wouldn't come down to individuals just saying, I can take this wage or leave it.
But you
'Cause I
don't
think
have a
that's
pie
terrible
shop.
way for-
You don't
I
have
think
a.
that's
No, this is
terrible
just
way
an
for
analogy,
working
Duke. It's
people.
not a real thing.
Well, no, but if we're going to
All right.
propose an analogy, let's
Chitty,
explore
right?
how far it goes. And I
Chitty,
think in
running
this
your
case,
film
it goes pretty
company,
far.
right? An illustrator comes in and you go, I'll give you $30 an hour to do me £30 an hour to do me illustrations, right? And then that person goes, nah, in the end, I didn't really want to do it, but I'm going to tell everyone he only offered me £10 an hour. How would you feel, Chinny? I'm not going to
Duke.
ask you because he's all fucking.
No, Duke wants to speak. You cut him off.
Yes, I'm trying to make a point.
Well, I'm trying to get an analogy that actually works better.
I'm sorry, was your not original analogy not a
'Cause-
good analogy?
'cause-
or-
Well,
I
it
want a
is, but not
pie
with
now.
you.
That's the problem. Like, I want to eat a pie.
Because
The
Chinny's a
last thing
proper
I'll say is this.
businessman who
The
hires
last-
people.
The last thing I'll
Well, there you
I'll
go.
say is this. I feel like people who work on video games, not just voice actors, because this is the high profile stuff. My biggest concern is the people who have to work 80-hour work weeks during crunch time. That's who I'm really mad about here. I'm not quite too fussed about the woman who does the voice acting, although I want her to be paid fairly, even though she lied here.
Yeah.
But my concern is that, you know, people who work in any industry, whether it's creative or whether it's making pies or whether it's, you know, teaching or whatever, we deserve a voice as workers. We have a right to collectively bargain. And I don't think anybody in the video game industry, generally speaking, gets to have a union that helps to really get them fair wages. And that's what I want to really see.
I agree. I don't, right? I don't
Great,
disagree
we
with
agree.
what
Let's
you're
move
saying.
on.
But remember, these are just offering employment. If that person chooses not to take it, that's their decision.
But that's the
ultimately.
problem with capitalism.
whatever they're
Take it or
offering.
leave it. Starve
okay.
or
Well,
work for
what else
my...
can they do? They can't, if that's what
we
they're
can
offering,
create a
they
union.
can't
We
do
can
anything.
transform our economy and have something so that people don't have to exist in this desperate state where either I have to put up with all this horrible stuff from my boss or I can spend another year hunting for
I
a job
agree,
that I hate.
but don't lie
Okay,
to
great,
make
we
it
agree.
sound
Let's
worse
move
than it
on.
really is.
Okay, fine.
Anyway,
Next
second
news
story. Let's
story.
move on to more happy.
Right. Okay. Sony has imposed restrictions on Call of Duty's ability to be in Game Pass, Xbox claims. Now, again, like, hang on a second. This is he said, she said. It sounds like Sony versus Xbox, but we'll see.
Definitely.
So this comes from Eurogamer.net. Sony's current Call of Duty marketing deal restricts Activision's big budget shooter series from appearing in Xbox Game Pass, according to Microsoft. The detail comes from Xbox's full response to last week's filing by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, in which the regulator raised its current concerns regarding Microsoft's ongoing $68 billion takeover attempt of Activision Blizzard. So this is the outcome of one enormous company trying to take over another enormous company.
So we have a thing in the UK where you Americans don't really know what it's about, where we don't like businesses to
Yeah,
have
it's
a
called
monopoly.
Monopolies and mergers.
Crazy idea.
Right.
That's so good. How on earth are you supposed to
Because
get Amazon?
They
then?
can't have a too big a market share of something.
Because
See, that's why y'all are being crushed by the U.S. and China in terms of your economy.
so if a company doesn't have a monopoly, therefore they can't own the marketplace, which encourages, you know,
Competition.
competition, and also competition basically makes the product better in the end, right?
Yeah, or
Yes,
cheaper
absolutely.
sometimes.
Or
So
cheaper,
obviously
yeah.
better,
so it's better.
yeah.
No doubt.
But America don't like this.
Better for the
because-
Well,
consumer.
many of us like the idea of antitrust legislation, breaking
no,
up
no,
monopolies.
Duke. All of
But
America don't
But
like
Jeff
this.
Bezos doesn't like it, and
Jeff Bezos.
therefore you don't see a lot about this in the Washington Post, which he
Yes.
owns, on NBC, which General Electric owns. Like, yeah. So anyway,
So
uh,
it's interesting because I sort of see why that we can't have Call of Duty on Game Pass. I see the reason, because we don't want businesses to have a monopoly. But I'm also very annoyed by it because I would really like Call of Duty on Game Pass,
right.
so
well,
I can
that's
play it.
Yeah, we have our personal perspectives, and then
Yes.
there's our ideologies.
So
which are
I'm
over here.
conflicted with
yeah.
this news, where it would be
Of
very
course.
convenient for me.
Now again, hear me out. Let me give you a vision. I
Yes.
have a dream.
Yes.
Imagine if everybody in the world, or every gamer, paid like a $5 fee. Every gamer everywhere pays a $5 fee, and we all get access to all the games all the time.
That
Um,
would be
awesome.
a
that's kind of
cool
what
world.
Microsoft are trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, no,
To be fair
but
to
not,
Microsoft-
not going to just one company though. Like some
there's
third
your
party
problem.
would administer
To
it.
be
That would be so cool.
To be fair to Microsoft, they have come out and said they would never intend to make Call of Duty exclusive anyway,
No.
because what would that be the benefit to them when they sell gazillions of it like Minecraft?
Mm,
They're not bothered. But Sony are probably making it more difficult than needs to be by the sound of things. And if they
Well-
hadn't kicked up a fuss, it might have been more advantageous for them in the long run. But it's too late now because the ball is in motion.
yeah,
Well,
I-
and it sounds to me like
know.
Sony is coming at it from the point of view of Game Pass is awesome. We need something that will make people want to sign up for our whatever it's called.
PlayStation.
They
Plus.
offered
I don't care
Sony.
I don't even care what it's called. The point is they need something unique, and this is their best chance to get it.
They offered Sony a slice of Game Pass. They said, "Let us put it on your service, and we'll give you a slice of the profits."
Yeah, but that's like a
And
monster
Sony went,
coming up
don't
and saying,
think
"All right,
so."
look, you currently run this neighborhood, you make $2 million a year. If you let us take care of it, we'll kick you back 10,000."
Because it comes what that boils down to is maths.
Yeah.
That's just maths.
And can we just say, by
it
the
would,
way,
it would generally benefit Microsoft a lot.
we never
more,
mentioned
and
this,
Sony
but
was
Game
happy to that, for that.
Yeah.
Game Pass is coming to Quest 2, by the way. Game Pass is coming to Quest.
Oh, well, that's 6 more customers right there.
So
Yeah.
they're going to allow you to play all your Game Pass games streamed on the cloud
Oh wait, here I can
to
do this.
a virtual
Like anybody
I don't know.
fucking gives a shit.
cinema size screen. I know, I think it's
All right.
pretty cool.
Is
I've
there-
watched
yeah,
movies and
we're-
stuff on Quest, and it's great. You know, you get
What
a
movie
full
did you watch
massive
on
screen.
Quest?
I've watched loads on Netflix and on Amazon.
Really? You
Amazon
watch a lot
Prime's
of
on
movies
there.
with a helmet on?
So
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
It's not. It's
That's
fine.
just bizarre. to
I
me.
usually do
I
it
like
when I'm on
watching movies
holiday.
with the Duchess, like both of us in the same
No,
room.
but if,
looking at the
like,
same
say for
screen.
instance, I'm watching Star Trek or something Kay won't watch.
Yeah, but
if
you
I'm on
forget,
holiday,
Duke,
I'll
that
watch it
Kay
on-
doesn't.
have a helmet on.
You
the
forget that
helmet
Kay.
on.
But I watch things that the Duchess isn't interested in, but I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
with
but
a
Kay
helmet
can
on
carry on
my-
watching the
Duke,
telly, aren't
you
we? She's not
forget
bothered.
that Kay doesn't love him
She doesn't love me, Duke.
and doesn't want to spend time with him.
All right. Anything else
Um,
people want to say about this Call of Duty?
No,
story?
no, I think that's it.
Any more news?
Yeah, there is.
Yes. There's like 6 more stories based
Fucking
on
hell.
one thing.
Can we
But
not
don't worry, it's
argue
all
about
one thing.
every?
I'm gonna no. I'm just gonna run through these
Run
because they're
through
all
them.
one story. It's just
Okay.
it's broken up into 6
Stu,
little pieces.
Tighten your lip.
well,
I'm sorry.
Stu's the one who chose the 6 stories here.
Yeah,
Silent Hill Townfall was announced.
Great.
It's a new Silent Hill game. It's coming
Good.
from No Code and Annapurna, and I will say Annapurna has produced some excellent video games. so
Yeah, I think it's
that's a
good. And the
pedigree.
makers are someone quite big as well. They made some
Okay.
decent games. I can't remember now.
There are actually a number of new Silent Hill projects.
Yeah,
it
there's
turns
loads.
out. Yeah. So, real quick, let's get through them. Silent Hill 2 is being remade by Bloober Team.
Yes.
Everyone loves Bloober Team.
Well, they did the medium, and that was pretty good.
Okay, I never
I
played
like
it.
the medium.
Can't say. Don't care.
The other good thing about this announcement is similar.
I'm so glad that Stu handed off the news to me. because
Yeah.
Well, I'm
then
only giving my
you can
comment.
Take it
Duke,
easy.
Duke, you do the news.
Similar to Resident Evil 2, I have never played Silent Hill 2, and it's meant to be the best one.
Well, there you go.
So
Here's
this
your
is perfect
chance.
for me. Perfect.
Okay. So Silent Hill Townfall is a new game from the makers of Observation. What's Observation? Was that the
It's
Star?
the space
Yeah, the
game.
space thing.
Oh
Space game.
God! I wrote a piece on Super Jump about how much I hated that game.
I
Well,
love
this
that
might be
game.
better. This might be better. I liked it
It's
too.
very unlikely it would be worse.
I liked it. I thought it was all right. I think you
know
were a bit
you
harsh.
did, and you're allowed to like it, but you're wrong. There's also a game coming up called Return to Silent Hill, which is a sequel to the 2006 movie. So if you saw that movie, both of
did.
you out there,
I
who
did.
saw
I did. It was
did you
fucking
really see it?
amazing. It's an amazing
A lot of
movie.
people- Okay,
I saw it
thought
at the
was one of
cinema.
those movies that
Yeah,
never
when?
happened. Okay,
I
so if
was
you
with him.
thought to yourself, "Ooh, I want another story based on that," here's your chance.
I didn't think that was a bad movie. It wasn't great, but it wasn't.
I never
bad.
saw it. I don't
It
know
wasn't
anything about
like-
it.
It wasn't the
I
worst.
figure I
movie I've
usually
ever
will
seen.
hear about any video game movie that is good.
Yeah,
I didn't
it was fine. I watched it. I was like, that's fine. I don't know, whatever.
Now,
It's got
what
Sean
about
Bean in it. What do you want?
So this is a new movie coming out. I thought it was a video game.
There's
Okay, I guess
all
this is a
sorts
new
of shit
movie.
coming out. Silent
Right.
Hill
And
related.
Speaking of all sorts of shit, Silent Hill Ascension
Oh,
is
God.
another thing that's coming out, and this is going to be an interactive video streaming experience.
I have no
So
idea what
No.
this
you're-
means.
So I know what it means. You know what? You remember Netflix when they did the
No, but this is
the
live
stupid-
though, isn't it? It says live.
Okay. So, well, let's see what it says. Let me just read what it says. This is from rockpapershotgun.com. Described as a new kind of Silent Hill, Ascension is being developed by GenVid, J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, and Dead by Daylight developers Behavior Interactive. They produce what they call massively interactive live events, or MILES. You see what they did there? It's an acronym. These are live streamed interactive stories where the audience watching can affect the story and world ... somehow. Honestly, this was the vaguest of the announcements, but at least it wasn't a mobile game or an NFT thing. That's pretty funny. So it sounds like Futurama when it's like, you want him to do tedious paperwork or go to the laser gun battle?
Yeah.
And you vote on which
Yeah.
one you want, and whoever gets the
But how are they doing it live? It's going to be interesting to see how this even
Well,
works.
they'll have two things ready to go, and then whatever.
Oh no, but then that's not live, is it?
No, but they
Well,
they have two options
to
for the
me-
character to do,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's
but-
live. But it will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
live.
So they've got to do it. They can't just go,
Inside Number
you
9
know,
did a live
click.
show. Do you know Inside Number 9?
Yeah, but did you interact with it?
No, but you could if it was, you
Yeah.
know, like.
And
yeah, I-
meanwhile, while people are
it's not that
voting, they're
hard to think
going
of.
on and on about the backstory, presumably, and then it just continues once the votes are tallied.
So this is
So-
Bandersnatch but live.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's also
Interesting.
Silent Hill F.
I know there's so
Ooh,
much shit.
I'm gonna make a
Oh, so
prediction.
much
I'm gonna make a
We're right about
prediction that
shit.
Silent Hill live streaming thing will never fucking happen. We'll never
No,
see it.
I
Or it's gonna
just
be
think it
real
sounds way too
stupid.
much work.
Way too boring. So the most striking trailer of the bunch had a young Japanese schoolgirl being transported to a dream world. Whoa, what an innovative concept. Plants growing from her skin and then her whole face peeling off.
And she was scantily clad, no doubt.
No, how could you imagine that? So yeah, that's all we get. It's a teaser trailer, very little information there. All right, so more on the Resident Evil 4 remake. Oh no, this is not Silent Hill. This is Resident Evil. I got
Yeah,
them all
so
mixed
Resident
up in my
Evil. There was a
head, I'm
Resident
sorry.
Evil showcase.
So this is the
week
last
as well.
story. Then okay, there's a Resident Evil showcase. Every developer now is like, oh, we're not just telling you about the next game, we're telling you about the next 20 games. Okay, so Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, Resident Evil 4 remake, and
That looks
more.
interesting.
So that was beforehand, and then here's everything we saw at the Resident Evil showcase. So real quick from Kotaku, let me run through this. A new trailer for the Winters expansion, the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition story. Got all that? Right.
Yeah.
Then there's a multiplayer shooter called Resident Evil Reverse coming out later this month.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very generic online shooter. Resident Evil Village is coming to Mac because there's such a huge Mac gaming contingent.
Yeah, I'll
the
tell you that
past
Mac
games-
players, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I went to PC gaming because I got sick of trying to play games on my Mac. The past games are getting Nintendo Switch cloud versions, so brace yourselves for that. There's some new gameplay footage of the Resident Evil 4 remake, and they've started taking pre-orders. So everybody get your money out because there's never a bad idea when you're pre-ordering games. Nobody has ever felt let down when they
Well, it's
pre-ordered a game.
$59 as well, because we were only saying last week that the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes were sort of budget prices, were good. This is
Yes.
slightly budget priced, but it's only like $20 less than what they're trying to charge at the moment for PS5 and Xbox Series X releases.
Sure.
So it's a fair amount of cash still, $59, I think. What do you think, Chinny? Are you going to bite at that for a Resident Evil 4 remake?
How much is it?
$59, so I'm guessing
$59.
59 quid.
Yeah.
60 quid.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Alright,
but
I lied. There's-
stupid. I'm loaded like you.
Yeah, you shit money. You
Like,
shit
me,
money
me,
out your
me
ass.
and you are just shitting cash
In cash.
constantly.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. I don't know whether I'm going to buy that
Um,
day one. See,
I lied.
just
Sorry,
play
there's
the
one more
VR.
story I want to talk
But that
about.
come
real
out
quick.
on Game Pass though, probably.
Not if Sony has anything to do with it.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'd wait. I'd probably
I think
wait.
it's almost a Sony console exclusive. If I'm not wrong.
Would
I
it
think
come
it's
out on the
Sony-
PlayStation stupid shit? PlayStation.
Yeah,
That's
possibly
what
on
it's
the
actually
top
called.
tier, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
PlayStation.
I've
Maybe
got
the
that.
top
I've got
tier
the
is
top tier
stupid
one.
shit.
I've got it. I've got it. I've got it.
Maybe,
I've got it.
but maybe
Alright,
not.
so here's
not
the
straight away.
last-
Maybe after a month or so.
Who cares?
knows?
I've got too many games to play anyway. I can't buy any games.
Yeah, really. All right,
Yeah,
one
it's true,
last
it's true.
game story. You ready?
Go.
Yep.
Genshin Impact middle school mural has parents calling it satanic.
Bye.
A Michigan
Nice.
high schooler. Yeah, a Michigan high schooler was criticized at a school board meeting last week over a mural she painted for a local middle school. Some of the contested elements were the transgender flag. Conservative school districts hate that. A hand symbol that comes from a Latin American religion, and the quote satanic mask of a Genshin Impact character. So the part that I'm most interested in, I mean, we know why they hate the trans thing, and I don't know about the Latin American religion, but
Everybody knows that Satan loves transgender people.
right. There's a hamster
All
hand.
the
which
only
is-
thing it needed on there was a pro-abortion thing, and then
Yeah,
that'd
exactly.
be it.
right. So there was the hamsa hand was a religious symbol in Latin America. I don't know much about that, but the part that's really shocking is that they immediately jumped to Satan when the person had painted the character from Genshin Impact. They probably didn't know much about the actual origins of the thing in the video game, but turns out it's a mask worn by a character named Zhao, which is an immortal guardian that protects the nation of blah 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 from evil spirits.
So a nice character.
It's actually anti-Satan, and
Yeah.
the fact that they're so convinced that anything different, anything foreign, especially things that come from Asia or the Middle East, they must be satanic. It's such a sign. I mean, the trans thing is also a sign of this, but the amount of ignorance and closed-mindedness is just shocking.
I just cannot get my head around in America in this day and age that people still have that kind of philosophy or opinions on stuff. It makes no sense to me. In this world
I
we
can
live in,
explain why it happens, but it's
no, I
just
know, I get
sad.
that, but I still find it amazing that there are people still living in America who are this backwards in the
It's because
points of
it's
view.
because of the silo. Like people just get their information from just one source. Again, it goes back to this notion of the cult. Like there's this one person you trust, or one outlet that you trust, and like everything comes from that one outlet. It's not healthy. Everybody, even when it comes to video games, don't take our word for it. Listen to other podcasts. Look at other reviews. This is why Metacritic is
and
actually a very good
especially
thing.
if you are a member of a cult, don't give them money. Just a shout out to the Patreon listeners.
Oh, we love you.
We love them. We
Patreon
love them.
listeners.
We love
And
them.
everybody needs to give us money.
And everybody knows that you get a free
Talking of
ticket to
cash.
heaven.
I mean, I got like 6 shirts here. I'll give you if you want, because I just got a million.
You got
shirts.
loads
I
of
wear a lot of
shirts.
shirts. Yeah, I'm gonna wear one of these each week for the next month. I'm gonna wear a different
Nice.
shirt every week from the
And then-
stack.
You'll have
Thank
to let
you,
me know
Mr.
how the
Hero.
sizing is.
Yeah. All right, so are we ready for emails then?
Sure.
Yes, I've only got 2 this week, and one's very
Whoa, that ruled.
I believe
What?
you mean Chinny's.
As-
Am I doing them, Stu?
Well, I'm gonna no, because there's only one very little one
That's
and
a
one
no.
average size. So
All right.
it's not like last week when we had some quite big ones. Anyway, here we go. First
take 'em
email's
slow,
off Jonathan
one time.
Davies, and he
Yeah.
says, "Last minute question for the show.
Right.
Yes.
Hope you're all doing well. A last minute email as I catch up on last week's episode. I wanted
Okay.
to chip in on the discussion regarding open worlds and finishing post game content once the main story or quest is completed.
That's not a question. You said you had a question.
Well, he's getting to it.
He's
I'm-
getting to
I've
it.
been playing through the Batman Arkham trilogy, and I've just finished Arkham Knight.
Oh,
I found it to be really well made, and I know criticism was aimed at the Batmobile sections,
Hmm.
but honestly, I didn't find it too much of
yeah.
a
'cause
problem.
You know why, Jonathan? Because they were moaning bitches.
I hated it.
I loved it.
Anyway, an issue I had with the game was the amount of side quests that were introduced as I progressed through the main story, and the dissonance this caused. 1 minute I'm trying to track down the Arkham Knight after an important character has been kidnapped,
Yes.
and in the next moment, Alfred is telling me some road mines need defusing. I might want to do this first.
Yes.
I'm also playing Skyrim at the moment, and also serves as a good example.
Yes.
You're tasked with being the Dragonborn and uncovering the mystery surrounding the return of the dragons, but feel free to spend hours solving everybody else's problems in the world before you
Yes.
finally do this task.
We talked about this with Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
Wow.
Same problem.
Mass Effect 3 was pretty good at that, because if you spent too long, shit went down differently.
That's
Right.
right.
So
Which,
Mass Effect 3
but
kinda
that
did it.
came out of a criticism from 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
Yeah.
actually, in 3, they actually addressed it.
So,
and did
so,
it.
so, Jonathan Davis, if you've listened to this show, this episode, you might. I'm going to call back to the time where I said video game bollocks, and this, unfortunately, falls under video game bollocks. Where yes, you are Batman, but if Alfred wants you to get fucking bowel movement pills for him, you have to go get them, and that's video game bollocks.
Well, not
because,
only are you Batman, but like you're Batman, there's a ticking clock. Someone's about to die,
Yeah.
and that's the part that bugs me the most. Is that these larger stories, if they were like you have to solve this mystery from 5 years ago, that would be one thing. Yeah, you don't have to race through that. You can do it at your own pace. But it's always there's a civil war between the Stormcloaks and the Empire, and you've got to be in charge of it. The end of the world is coming with the dragons. Like, stop. That's the ridiculousness of these games taking themselves too seriously in terms of the overarching quest.
I think a game that handles this very well, Jonathan Davis, is Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man handles this very well, and also, well, I'll pick on Spider-Man because it takes the story sort of takes is over a period of time, right? And it sort of tells the story over a period of time. I also think that Red Dead handles this well, and also like The Last of Us as well, which I know isn't an open world game, but like there are sort of elements where you can sort of veer off and look at things a little bit more slowly and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So there are games that do this better than others, but yeah, it definitely happens in Batman, and I sort of put it under like video game bullshit where I don't know, it's just it's a distraction from doing the main thing, and if that distraction is fun to do, then just don't think about it and just
just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
also
this is
with Arkham Knight though, one of the side missions is where you discover those sort of like decapitated bodies and stuff like that. And I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. And in Red Dead 2, where you find like a fucking head on a spike and it's to do with this murderer. I actually never finished that quest line until 2 years later after I'd finished the whole game. So it's just unbelievable. Yeah, one of those things that really engaging.
I mean, it's
really
quite
good.
interesting because he does say, this was his question, which you've kind of already answered.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was saying, I was wondering if you guys also experienced this when playing, as in this case, the Batman or other characters. I've decided to leave the side quests until after the main stories. This feels more congruent with the characters'
A lot of people
values
do
and
that.
motivations.
Yeah, sure. And I mean,
yeah, go on, dude. Go on.
well, I mean, you know, I can understand where the game developers are coming from because they want to give everybody everything. If you want to race through the main story, okay, you can do that. But then you have to make the dialogue is going to be weird because you leave Fred at the end of one mission, and then if you start the next mission right away with Fred, he'll start probably by saying something like, "Oh, hey, I'm glad you're back." You're like, "Motherfucker, it's been 4 seconds. What are you talking about?" But if you want to let people do those side missions, okay. It's just that urgency isn't going to be there for that overarching story mission. So
We have,
they're in a bind. Definitely.
We have a PlayStation 2 in the office at the moment.
Cutting edge, top of the
Somebody
line.
brought it in, and the person who brought it in asked the office like, "Oh, what games do you want on there?" And I said, "Can you put Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories on there? Because I've never played those games because they're on PSP." And it did that very thing that you were talking about, Duke, where in Vice City or Liberty City Stories, he drops you off and he goes, "Okay, I'll see you around sometime." And then the only mission that you've got left to do next is his. And you're like, "Hey, I've never. What you fucking been?" And you're like, I literally just like walked in.
Nice.
So like games have definitely got better at this, and yeah, it's
They have. And I would say that, I'm waiting for, I'm going to wait for a long time probably. But, again, I feel like a good open world game does not have an overarching story that is quite. And first of all, do they even need an overarching story? Maybe. That's up for discussion. I don't think any open world games have really tried without it. I mean, it's like Minecraft, but whatever. But I think that having an overarching story that isn't, again, based on like a ticking clock or something really urgent, instead it would be like, hey, here's this thing we're kind of interested in learning more about. And like that becomes the thing that you go searching for.
I guess, but I think Batman always has to have a story. It's
but like it's a story
not
that
saying it doesn't have to
doesn't
have a story.
require like a fuse, like a
Yeah,
time.
I guess.
Like GTA.
Like, here's this person. Go ahead.
GTA 5 has a story where it's not on a fuse. Do you know what I mean? It's like we need to make money. Let's rob a bank, and it's like it's not like it's got to happen
And
tomorrow.
I think, right. And so for Batman, for instance, like here's this person who committed 5 murders and then stopped 2 years ago. I'm not comfortable with him being out there, but so far as we can tell, he's not planning on committing any more murders. Things are quiet in Gotham. That's the thing. Like, when do things get quiet in Gotham? Never. It's always like poison in the water supply. There's people killing, getting murdered, heads cut off. When is there a thing in Gotham where it's like, hey, you know what? It's been raining a lot lately.
Yeah, but to be fair, those Batman villains are nasty. They're nasty, man.
Well, it's also
and there's a lot of them. It must have the
part
most villains in
developers.
in the fictional world. There's that many of them.
Right.
Anyway, he does finish off. Your thoughts would be appreciated, which we've given. P.S. Sorry
Yeah.
to hear about your heart problems, Stu. I previously worked in the NHS cardiac rehabilitation unit, and with right care and support, you can continue to live well in spite of the ticker. Get well soon and keep on gaming. Thank you very much. That's very
So
kind
are you
of
volunteering to give Stu special care since you?
Yeah,
know so much
are you
about
coming
it?
round to my house?
That's what we want. Yeah, go to his house.
Yeah, come round to my house, man.
He's got stress dealing with me,
I am,
so
man.
he needs someone to help him out.
Holiday stories. This is from Antonio GH Rocker.
Hey.
And he says it's nothing fancy here, just curious. What are your favorite vacations, holidays you guys have had? And any funny tales or memories from those trips? Cheers, Antonio. So there you go.
Like
Favorite
actual trips
vacay.
you've taken. This isn't about games.
Yeah, favorite vacays, people.
In 2018, the Duchess and I went over to Europe.
Oh, you
and
did.
I'd say that was one of my favorite moments of my life because I finally got to go to the Balzac Museum.
Yeah.
And that was such a
Ah,
cool
can
place.
Great museum.
Great.
Oh yeah, and I got to meet these guys. That was
Yeah,
nice
you
too.
did.
Blah.
Mostly
Blah, blah.
Balzac though.
Balzac.
Balzac.
Yeah, I just like saying Balzac all the time.
Balzac.
Chinny, favorite holiday vacay?
I did love New York.
Yeah.
I did live. Okay, 2 stories. So I love New York, and I had loads of really good memories, loads of things. But I have to say, Stu, I wasn't gonna go to that burger joint thing. And
okay.
I said to Tara, I think we was in Central Park or something, and I said, let's try this burger joint thing because Stu keeps banging on about it, and I'm so glad that I did because it was brilliant.
See, no
not
one
only
ever
like
listens to
not
me.
only how good the burger was, Tara said it's probably the best burger she's ever had, but also like where it was and like how
Yeah.
good it was. And then the other one is when I went to Ireland and we went to Dublin and stuff, but we went to see Robin and his family. And honestly, the highlight of the whole trip was just playing football with the kids and stuff and having a laugh. It was great. So yeah, and none of that would have happened if we didn't do this show because it's just a random
it's
stranger that I met on the fucking internet. So what are you gonna do?
I think for me, the two that stand out for me is obviously Austria, because I absolutely love Austria. Walking in the mountains and stuff like that is so cool in the summer. Venice, I love Venice. I thought Venice is one of the coolest places I've ever visited.
I thought it was
And then
okay.
I have to say, going on Chinny's stag do to Amsterdam.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I have a
Because
lot
that
of
was
people.
such a brilliant weekend and just so much fun.
I saw Damo when I saw. Sorry, Duke, but when I saw Louis C.K., I went with Damo, and yeah, I saw him. It's been 2 years, 3 years since I've seen. No, 4 years since I've seen Damo in the flesh.
Shit.
And I
Is
went.
that when you got married? Is that the last time you saw him?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Shit.
Him. And he said to me like, Amsterdam is one of probably the highlights of his life. Right.
It was such a great weekend,
and
wasn't
then
it?
Simeon and Nathaniel always talk about Amsterdam, going like, "We've got to go back." So
Yeah.
so yeah,
such a great
yeah,
weekend.
it was good fun when we was at that strip bar and that was this is actually true. Like, I don't really care about telling this story, but like, you know, Damo paid some strippers to like really hurt me and got me bollock naked, and then 2 hours later we're like chatting to them and they're really lovely, and I did a dance for them. I did a dance for one of them.
You did. I kind of liked it better when they volunteered you to go up on the stage at the sex show.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty lame, to be honest. It was like
it was funny though. It was like, oh my god, what is
yeah.
happening?
Yeah, it's you know.
So I think that the common themes here are the people what make the best experience.
Definitely.
That and really good burgers.
Yes.
Really good burgers.
Yeah, it was a good burger though. Jesus
really,
Christ.
really good burger.
Very good.
And
there you
going
go.
to East Timor after decades of working to end their military occupation.
Yeah,
and
well, that
seek
was
justice
blah
for
blah
the
blah
hundreds
blah
of
blah blah
thousands of
blah.
people
Have you
who
been
are
to Amsterdam?
killed by the
No.
American
Yeah, have you been
government.
to Amsterdam?
I have not.
There you go.
You should go. You should go.
But the Dutch government was, of course, responsible for colonialism in Indonesia. So they were kind of responsible for kicking off.
Yeah, but have you smoked weed in Amsterdam?
Yeah. Have you? Have you had a special
All right.
cake?
Oh yeah,
Any other
because there's that
emails?
moment where Stu, the cake kicked in for Stu.
It was weird. It was very funny.
Right.
That's a good story, actually.
The
'cause I
cake
ate
kicked in, and I just had Stu, who was
Hours.
dressed as Luigi, laughing like
For no reason.
for an hour.
Well,
just
to be
constantly.
fair, sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean anything with Stu.
No, but he
They'll
was
just
he
start
was
laughing.
excessively
It was funny.
He was,
It was funny.
excessively laughing. Like
It was funny because
you're dressed as a woman, Ginny. Isn't that funny? I'm like, shoot, you need to calm down.
I ate the cake, right, and nothing happened. And
Yeah.
obviously the
For
woman
an
said
hour.
it would take a while to get. Oh no, it was longer. It was
Was
longer
it?
than that because we
Yeah.
went back, got changed and everything. I reckon
Yeah.
it was 2 or 3 hours later.
Yeah.
And we were just sat in the taxi going to the booze cruise. And I just started laughing for no reason. I don't even remember now thinking I can't remember why I was laughing. I
No,
was just
I think
laughing.
you kept on laughing that I was in a dress.
Yeah, and I laughed for probably about half an hour to an hour, and then it just wore off, and that was
Yeah,
that. And I'm like, is that it?
That
Is that it?
That's it. That's it.
That was
some
it.
people, some people throw up that, don't they? Some people get
Yeah, I
all
was
dizzy and-
fine. I was fine. I didn't throw up or anything, but it was
It
a bit
reminds me
weird.
of Parks and Rec when Leslie Knope is like, "Oh, this one time in college, I had this brownie, and it took me like an hour to recover from it. There was no marijuana in it. It was just a really good brownie."
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Any other emails?
No, that's it.
Any speak pipes or Discord stuff?
No,
No,
that's
I don't
it.
think so.
Should we do
I,
shout outs?
I finished
Shout-outs.
watching. I finished watching Parks and Rec. By the way, Duke.
Oh yeah.
That last
Isn't that a
season.
heck of an ending?
That
You
last
like that
season
last-
is ropey, man.
It's. I think they took a big swing.
Yeah.
I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but it really grew on me. And
I don't
kinda, I
know.
mean, it's cheesy. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of The Office in terms of like the emotional impact that it's meant to have. But I like it. I don't know.
I just think like it's very similar to the American Office where they just went one season too long.
Well, that's as maybe. I wouldn't dispute that necessarily.
No.
I don't know. I think it's funny. Like
It has funny moments.
Jerry ends up with this amazing finish to his story arc when the
Yes.
whole first season, 6 seasons, are just, damn it, Jerry, and he has to pick a new name all the time. Or,
But
yeah.
I remember thinking like, if this was a British sitcom, they would never be nice
Yeah.
to him ever.
Right.
They would. He would never.
And again, that's
they
a
were
beautiful
pretty.
thing about.
They were pretty
Yeah.
consistent with it. Like, and I was like, I
Yeah.
really hope they never ever do anything nice.
Well,
to
I
him.
love it when Ben is like, everybody, Jerry Gergich is my friend. And even Jerry's like, stop, just sit down. Like,
Yes.
you're embarrassing
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, but they.
don't know.
Yeah,
think that's
I just feel like the show was almost committed to that joke, and then they just wussed
Yeah,
it right at the last minute.
Well, they went in the exact opposite direction at the end, which
I just didn't like
I
that last season. I just thought
That's
it was really bad.
You're wrong, but it's okay.
But it has
All right,
funny
let's do
moments.
some
It's
shout-outs.
time for a shout out. Hey!
And by the way, speaking of, I just finished another run through of Parks and Rec too, and I want to get. There's 2 sound clips actually that would be perfect as soon as Stu starts talking about Gloomhaven. So I'm gonna try to get those for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna get
all right,
this
who wants to do
before.
shout outs?
Well, I'm just going to talk about TV show.
go
I've
on.
started watching the bloody House of Dragon thing now, Stu.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
2
It's all right. I've
episodes in.
heard. I haven't finished. Can I just say I haven't finished the Lord of the Rings thing? Well,
Yeah.
everybody's going mental about the finale, saying it was fucking a big pile of tribe. So I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Well,
Because I was all right with it up till this point.
I didn't know anything about that, but they certainly commit to something. And you're
Well,
like,
I'll
oh, okay.
see because I've still got to watch it. But I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Because I quite liked it up until that point.
Yeah, they say someone is something, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see that coming, but that sounds strange. But
Well, I'm
whatever.
about to find it.
I don't really
I'll
get
find
upset by
out.
those kinds of things, also. But no, I think Game of Thrones is pretty good. 2 episodes.
It's not
in,
bad.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. There's one
Uh,
episode that you can barely see, but apart from that, it's all right.
Well, it wouldn't be Game of Thrones. I watched all of Dharma, Monster.
All right,
the
yeah, we
Jeffrey
need to
Dahmer
still
stuff.
watch that, so we need to start doing that.
Obviously, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's about a serial killer.
Yeah.
Which
And
it's
some
it's
of the
true.
victims' families have
Yeah, they've
complained
kicked off about
the
it.
entertainment value of this horrible
Yeah,
tragedy. that
but
befell
what
them.
and the show's defense is a little weak because it says like it's to
But then
we
how
want to raise
many?
awareness about serial killers.
Yeah, but how
No,
many
no, but it's-
dramatizations have been made about serial killers, and no one
but
picks
it's
off
but
about
it's
those?
but the people that made the show is like, oh, we want to highlight the victims, which it does eventually do. To be fair to the show,
Yeah,
but the problem with the show is that, like I think it's a great show, but like the first 3-4 episodes are really focused on Dharma, and then towards the end, like it does a really good job of actually highlighting the victims and that sort of stuff. But you know, I don't know. It's a good show that I think it does
I mean,
a pretty decent job.
I'm sure
in
it is a
respect
good
to
show. I'm sure I would enjoy it because I am fascinated by that sort of thing. And I think that if you're going to make a good show, you can't not talk about the serial killer himself.
Yes.
Obviously, you know.
They make good
I just-
decisions about it. Go on, sorry. Nick.
Yeah, and that's fine. No, that's cool. I don't know. I mean, like there, for families that go through that, there's going to be a certain amount of re-traumatization. You know what I mean
Yeah.
when that comes up.
Yeah, but
But
then-
I'm not saying that nobody should be allowed to make stories about serial
No.
killers or things like that. So I don't know how I feel. I'm sort of like of
difficult.
two
It's
minds.
difficult.
We watched Blackbird, which was just excellent. But again, it's about a serial killer. The victims are highlighted. The families obviously are still around.
Yeah.
So, but how can you make that kind of show without that being
I
in
don't
it?
know.
You can't.
Oh yeah,
can
no,
you?
I don't know that you can, and that's the dilemma for me. Is that like I don't want to,
But
support art
aside-
that could harm a family of survivors. But I also feel like that's
I mean,
the right
the-
of
the-
artists
to be
is
fa-
to
I
tell those
suppose-
stories.
I suppose the difference between Blackbird and that is Blackbird is about the central character is not the serial killer,
Yeah.
I guess. But then it obviously still highlights all the stuff the serial killer did.
Well, and that's why we tune in.
In Dharma,
Yeah.
though, like I said, the first 3 episodes are definitely centralized around Jeffrey Dahmer. But
Yeah.
after that, there's an episode where you just sort of see the dad, and then there's an episode where you just focus on the neighbor, and then there's an episode where you
Right.
focus on one of his victims.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting. I wonder if you could do not Dahmer. Let's take it away. Like Ted Bundy killed a lot of people. It would be interesting maybe to have a series where every episode is following one of the victims, but the show ends right before the person, or Ted Bundy comes into their lives. Like, because that really would be centering these people who were lost.
Yeah.
But that's not the purpose. Probably not as many people would tune in then. So
Well, no, people tune in to find out why a serial killer does what they do, I suppose. Trying to
Yeah, I
understand
suppose.
why they go
And by
mental.
the way, Mindhunter
and
was
do
a really
horrible
good show
things.
for that. I love.
Oh, it got
Mindhunter.
cancelled though. I was so
I know,
gutted
I
when
know,
it
I
got
know.
cancelled because I love.
I mean, it
both
wasn't a perfect
seasons.
show, but it was very good. I
Do
really
you know the moment I lost a little bit of respect for Mindhunter?
all the stuff with the cat and the tin of food?
No, when he was,
That
you know,
got
when he was making his board to do the protest,
Yeah.
he had a battery-powered drill. I don't think they were around in the 50s. It wasn't plugged in. There was no
probably not.
wire on it, and he's drilling away. And I'm like, hold up a minute. I'm like, that's a bit of a mistake.
But there you go. So shout out to
Television,
TV shows.
serial
shout out
killer
to TV
TV shows.
Well, that's all I do. I don't know. All right. Shout out to
I'm gonna-
Greasy Fish Lips as well. So that's
Yeah, shout out to Greasy Fish Lips. Shout out to obviously Mr. Hero for doing
Yeah,
juice
taking
t-shirts,
my
and Steve,
Shout out.
and he's obviously going to be sending some stuff my way. So
Yeah,
good on
Stu's the
him.
next one.
You're next.
Apparently,
That's right.
so I'm looking
I
forward to it
will-
because I'm quite impressed with what
Any
you
other
got.
shout-outs? Yeah, exactly.
No,
shout-outs,
that's it really.
Steve?
Oh, and thanks for all the nice things people have said. You know,
About not being dead.
hoping I'm okay. Yeah, hoping I'm okay.
Yeah. I will shout out Tainted Brain. I just love hearing from him on Twitter. And I send out a thing that said, hey, what are the memes or comics you have on your phone? I'll start. And then he's the only one who responded. That's the easiest softball question for the Twitter community. Come on, y'all. But whatever. Shout out to GH Rocker. I love chatting with him on Twitter. And everybody else that I interact with. Tim Kelly, Izzy, former student, Dan, Hardly Dan, Marty, of course. Keep your head up, buddy. Always going through some shit. that guy. SLH, a lot of fun to talk to. Former student Gabe. I'm just going through my Twitter mentions now. And Dallas Taylor, who will never hear this, but I love you, Dallas. Thanks for all the awesome memories back in the day.
Thanks, Dallas.
Are we
Thanks,
done?
Dallas. I think we're done.
We're done. That's a show.
Okay.
long
Thanks
one.
for
It's a long
listening,
one.
everybody. Check out VGHub.net.
Good evening and welcome to the show.
It's a little silly to play the
Wait a
sound
minute.
clip from the start of a Rocket League game at the end of our show, but that's my life.
There you go. Right, it's pretty late, so I'm gonna go.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well then I can play this sound clip. Where is it? Oh wait, it's over here. Yeah, here we go. I got it.
Okay, that's enough. No more talking.
Okay, I'm going, people.
All right, have a good night, Stu. Have a
See you
good night,
next
Chinny.
week.
I guess I'll
Bye.
go too.
Bye,
I have
bye, bye, bye.
decided. Okay, bye, Stu.
Bye.
I think I'll tell Chinny if he's still around.
Oh man.
Not that anybody cares, but I used to have the show window. I got like 10 windows when I'm doing the show. You know, I got Steam, the Zoom thing. I got the YouTube stream. I got the sound clips. I got the recordings equipment. But I was trying to grade papers too. I've got so many papers. I really need to do another 2 hours tonight. But we'll
Yep.
see if I actually do. I won't. But anyway, I've been making progress, and that's good. But I've tried to compact all the VG stuff over on one screen, and then all the grading stuff on another screen. Oh, it means everything is so scrunched up. My
Maybe
life,
it's not going to
man,
work.
it's rough. It
Maybe
may
you
not.
need a third.
No, I'm not getting a third screen.
Why?
That's just ridiculous. Because
I've got
it
three.
just
I've
feels
got three.
excessive.
I've got 3.
How are they arranged? I don't have. First of all, my desk isn't that big.
Nor is mine.
Secondly,
It is packed in.
well, I'm not doing 3.
One's vertical. That's why I fill them in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is the only. I would need it for what, 3 hours a week? No, that's not a good enough reason.
I only need this for like 3 hours a week.
Well, my 2 screens get play all the time because I got games on this screen and then music on that screen.
Hardly down in the chat. 3 screens is the way to go.
Well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate your interest,
I love 3 screens.
but no, it's not happening.
3 screens or die.
No 3 screens.
I'll buy you a monitor.
We watched. Oh man, you watched Jim Jarmusch at all? You ever seen a Jim Jarmusch movie?
It sounds like you're saying random syllables.
Ghost Dog. Did you ever see Ghost Dog?
Ghost
That's a good
Dog.
movie. Forrest Whitaker plays a samurai assassin in
Is
modern
that a
day
real
New York.
movie? Ghost Dog.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's not about a dog. It's about a guy named Ghost Dog. It's really good.
That's really annoying.
Sorry, Shinny was really excited, and then he learned what it actually.
Ghost Dog.
Anyway, we
the
watched a
way to
movie
say.
from him with Tom Huddleston and what's her name? Tilda Swinton, called "Only Lovers Left Alive," about these 2 vampires. And
Only
I
Lovers
was like,
Left
Jim
Alive,
Jarmusch in a
2013.
vampire movie. Okay.
Tilda
Um,
Swinton, Tom
Yeah, I
Hiddleston.
love her so much. I would see her reading the phone book, man. She's so good. But it was kind of boring. Like, his movies tend to be slow and contemplative, but this was beyond any of those. It was just like, we got done, and I was just like, and the Duchess was like, yeah, So,
Yeah.
whatever.
She's
Can't recommend it
she's
with huge thumbs up.
Tilda Swinton is the actress that everybody got mad at because she plays a role in the Marvel in the Doctor Strange that should be an Asian
right. I mean,
character, right?
is that her fault? I
Yeah.
consider it a
No, she
casting.
said she hates Asians. That's what I heard.
I don't remember reading that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you
it's
know.
bizarre. I don't know why she said it, but
Why would she say
Ah,
that?
yeah,
That's-
it's just
she
whatever.
didn't need to say that. She just said, "I'm trying to play this role with sensitivity and compassion," and
know.
instead she went, "I hate Asians." That's
her
great.
agent just went like
I believe you mean her Asian went like that,
that. Her Asian agent.
right?
Yeah, I don't know much about that actress.
Oh man, did you see Snowpiercer?
No, I've never seen Snowpiercer.
That's a good movie. She's
I
in
have
that.
seen.
Michael Clayton.
She's in the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I love.
I haven't seen that. That guy Wes Anderson. I get so tired of his movies.
I love him.
They
I
just
love
feel
him.
smarmy. I don't know what it is. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
like,
love it. I love it. I love how
That's fine.
stupid it is. like
Well.
unnecessary. Like, okay, we're gonna film all these scenes in 4:3, and then we're gonna film all these scenes in 16:9. Then we're gonna film all these.
I mean,
by
he's creative. I'll
2.4.
give him that.
Yeah.
It just feels like in terms of the story, it's like everything kind of syncs up in a way that just I'm like,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
organic. But whatever. If you're in, like he's great.
I mean, I just love. I love
And that's fine. Yeah.
the vibe. I love the vibe.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's great.
Yep. All right, man. I should finish grading these papers, edit this thing. Yeah. Stu left us, and now I'm leaving you too.
Okay.
Good luck with your throat and your voice.
Thanks, man.
And I will talk to you next week. Well, do we decide on a game to play for next time?
No, we usually do it in the WhatsApp chat, don't we?
Yeah. Okay. I just
She
wanna get a
usually
head
goes,
start.
I want to play this, so you two have to play this.
Well, are y'all both gonna be still playing Playstale, huh?
I guess so.
I mean, we don't want to just drag that out. What about Coral Island? I'll still. I guess Stu probably wouldn't like that. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Good
Okay.
night.
Bye.
Bye.